only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined, as usual, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
Hey, we're at an event.
Woo!
We are.
We like events.
We do like events. I love doing events because we get to talk to a lot of people. We get to drink a lot of different beers from different places.
Events are fun.
And this one's got cars.
Hot rods.
It's got hot rods because we're at Hot Rods and Hops, which is an annual event here at Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company in the wonderful little village of Croydon, Pennsylvania.
Croydon, what?
Yeah. I had a lot of fun last time we were here, and
Yeah.
we're going to talk to a lot of people, including the man who will need no introduction because he will make sure to introduce himself and make a lasting impression on you. We're going to talk to Jeremy pretty shortly. But this is cool. This is a lot of fun. I love this environment, and the cars are super duper cool. And Wayne took a bunch of pictures, and I'm hoping they make it onto the internet.
Yeah, probably the one with you in the deep background is going to end up being
Yes!
the episode pick. I was briefly looking through them, and I think that was my favorite so far. Though I might snap some later after we're done officially podcasting, so we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. And Steph has been sociing, and I was going to help
Yes.
soch, but I'm almost out of data. Thanks, Verizon.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to mention, and maybe I should wait for until Jeremy's up at the table here, but I never realized how big this place actually was.
Oh, my God, me neither.
Until I wandered back there to where the hot rods are to take some photos. And, I mean, this place is enormous.
Huge.
I had no... Last time we were here, I mean, the tap room itself is pretty big. We were just on the inside of the brewing space last time, and we never really ventured further back into the building. And it's...
Gigantic.
Yeah, it's quite an operation. And they have a new location now, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Jenkintown, right?
Yeah, so the Neshaminy square footage
and
keeps,
that's not a small
growing.
space either. I was there when it was the previous brewery. I haven't been there since it's been Neshaminy, but that's a nice size space also.
Of course. Before we get into the madness, don't forget you can be part of the whole Beer Busters thing and interact with us on the interwebs. You can go to Twitter, you can go to Instagram. We're at Beer Busters on both. You can go to Facebook. Just type in Beer Busters Podcast in a little searchy thingy. And don't forget, text or call and leave a voicemail to 805-991-BEER. That's 805-991-2337. Seriously, nobody has used that except for Joe Man. I like the people who called us to leave messages for the 100th last year. Mm-hmm. But we want more voicemails and stuff, people.
Call us maybe.
Hey, we just met you.
Yeah.
And here's our number. And beer's our number. That
Oh,
could be.
Jesus.
Oh, I never used that.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, we've got a lot that's going to happen, and there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the road. I want to get this show on the road.
Patreon.com/beerbusters.
Also, go to Patreon. Do that. But without further ado, Hot Rods and Hops 2017, Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company.
Woo woo. Or should I say, rum rum.
Well, we couldn't start the day off without the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the voice behind Neshaminy Creek. We got Jeremy back at the table. How are you, man?
Pretty good. How's it going, guys?
Great, man. Thank you for having us out here again.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming.
This is cool. I mean, I had a blast last time, and this event is shaping up to be awesome.
This is a fun event. I mean, this is, I want to say it's the oldest event we've done.
That's cool. Well, I wanted to ask you, too, how long have you been doing Hot Rods and Hops?
So
then?
this is the 6th year, I think.
Wow. How did it start? Who
12,
came up
13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 years.
So what was the impetus behind it? What started it?
So when the brewery opened in June of 2012, we were just trying to think of, fun things to do event-wise at the brewery. And more or less it was, hey, let's do Hot Rods and Hops.
Cool.
Steve, one of my partners, Steve, his father and him, as well as he are involved in the local, I don't want to call it car culture, but his father is the man behind Street Road Truck and Van Accessories over in Feasterville. So he's really connected into a lot of the car clubs and whatnot, and so that idea, I have a love of classic cars as well.
Yeah.
And hot rods, so that idea kind of came from there. And so the first year, actually, the band that's playing today, Soul Custody, they played the first year as well. They actually played 10 feet from where we're sitting.
Nice.
Because in 2012 when we did it, none of this tap room didn't exist.
Right.
Pennsylvania law didn't allow us to do that. So fast forward 6 years, it's really turned into with the laws changing and whatnot. We decided to invite a bunch of local breweries, Pennsylvania breweries here. Not too many, so it's not too crazy, but enough where people get excited about it. And on top of the fact that it's always been a charity event. So what we have done the last 2 years is that we've picked a different veterans organization. So this year, all the proceeds are going to the Joseph Schumacher VFW All here in Croydon. So next year, we'll pick another veterans organization like American Legion or VFW or something like that.
Cool.
In the area locally to, all the proceeds go to that. So a lot of fun, great beer, awesome cars. I'm always amazed at the variety of cars.
Yeah.
This year, as soon as I walked in the back, I noticed that there was a lot of Corvettes.
Yeah, I saw that. And the one with the lights all in the engine and the dragon under the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big car guy, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, actually, one of the first cars I noticed is this 68 Mustang Fastback back there that had won Best of Show, I want to say 4 years ago.
Wow.
Back when we used to put all the cars in the brewery because we didn't have all the tanks and all the barrels and all the other stuff.
That's one thing I mentioned in the intro before you sat down. I didn't realize how big this place was until I went back to take a look at the cars.
It's a whole different world back there.
You've got so much space. And one of the cool things I noticed is you have the tap room open for just regular business right now.
Yeah.
And
what we're doing is so we do have 3 beers on tap that are pouring as part of the beer fest.
Right.
So anyone that gets bought a ticket or buys a ticket today, and they get the little commemorative mug glass, they can get those beers just like they can get any of the beers from the other breweries in the back. And then we also do the proceeds from the bar as well go towards the charity.
Oh, cool.
So while we are selling beer here, we don't want to make it seem to like the other breweries that hey, screw you guys, we're taking all the money. No, all the proceeds from this do go to the veterans organizations that we sponsor. So that's a big part of this, and we're really happy to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's cool to see an event like this going on, and people can still just kind of walk into the bar and sit down and have a beer, even if they didn't necessarily get a ticket to the fest, which is pretty cool.
If you showed up today and you didn't know that this was going on, you're in for a big surprise.
Pleasantly surprised, and you can buy a ticket right at the door too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if somebody wanted to say, "Hey, I didn't know this was going on, but let me go back."
The cool thing about all the space is that we're not limited by the amount of people, but I would say the limit is how many commemorative glasses we get. Last year we got 300, and we ripped through them pretty quickly.
Oh, really? Wow.
So there was some people that we actually ended up. I can't remember what we ended up doing. That had come later that didn't get the glass.
So you just get a Sharpie and a pint glass, and you guys sign it, and then you get a signed glass.
But this year we got more glassware.
Nice.
We know your staff is quite talented. We've seen the cartoons in the brewery.
Unfortunately, JP's not here. So, actually, Colin I think is bartending later on today, so he'll be here.
There you go.
So
cool.
he could definitely.
You could charge even more for those,
Probably.
because they would be one of a kind.
They would be,
glasses.
yeah,
definitely.
And Soul Custody is back there getting ready to play.
They're getting ready to play.
Yeah.
Awesome band, so that'll be a lot of fun.
I have to ask, because I know last time we were here, you mentioned that one of the Menzingers
here we
works
go.
for you. Of course, I was going to bring it up. I can't not.
We listened to them all the way on the
We
way
did.
here.
It was just a coincidence.
When is this podcast going to post? Because I might give you a scoop if you want to.
where are we at?
2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay.
Or from Friday.
I can't give it to you yet.
Okay.
I'll drop some hints.
All right.
Fair enough.
You brought up the Menzingers. So.
Well, I had to. For several reasons. One, I have to ask, did they ever play this event with you?
They've never played this event.
Okay.
They've only played the anniversary. And then they did an acoustic shit show of a show. And I say that only because it was Beach Slang, Broadcaster, and Menzingers, all acoustic.
Jesus.
And by the time by the time the Menzingers got on stage, not only were they shit-faced, but the sound guy, i.e. me, was completely shit-faced as well.
Yeah.
And there was so many people here that someone had pulled one of the cords out of one of the PA stacks in the front, and they were so drunk and I was so drunk that we couldn't get it figured out. So that's not going to happen the next time.
All right, good. Wow. And I wanted to mention, too, Wayne and I saw the Menzingers at the Fillmore at the beginning of the year, and, of course, they had the beer on tap. Phenomenal
Oh, that was
beer.
really good, yeah.
That's all I had 4 of those that night. It was awesome.
Well, we're brewing it again.
Yes.
And it may or may not be involved with an event in January here at the brewery.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a scoop for you. I can
Okay.
name names. So
Keep your eyes peeled.
I can't go too far into detail on that.
It's cool. I will keep my eyes
I'm just
open
saying
for
you
it.
might want to keep January 20th on your schedule.
I will also say that the last time somebody had a scoop they couldn't really talk about on the podcast, it ended up being that at the brewery at Hershey, what's the name of that band? Everclear was playing.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you...
Spin Doctors, more
Spin,
important.
yeah.
Well, no, it was
that was a different year. That was a
different
different
one,
year.
yeah.
You're right.
So I'm just saying that's the bar for exclusive scoops. Just-
Well, I mean, the Menzingers count as like a
The
national
Menzingers
band.
are pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
anything in life could completely, this could not happen, but
Right.
I feel pretty confident that it's going to.
Cool.
It's
Okay.
in my calendar.
All right.
There we go.
But, I mean, if you don't see anything posted on the web and about it, then it did not happen.
Okay. Well, we're not going to hold you to anything.
So, but yeah, we're working. I mean, the guys are actually just up here this week. They just got done that tour with Sublime and the Offspring.
Oh, they were on that.
They were on that.
Ah, shit.
cool.
And they, which was pretty cool to see, friends, play a tour that big.
Yeah.
It's such a big step for them. I mean, they're getting to be a big band too, but like that's just playing in front of 16,000 people a day is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But they were on a bus for that tour, so they actually left their van and their trailer here because they didn't want to leave it in Philly because they didn't want to get robbed.
I don't
so.
blame them.
Yeah.
But yeah, their van was here for about 7 weeks. We had to call them this week. Like, hey, I know you guys said you're going to get the van like 2 weeks ago, but you need to get it by Saturday because we need the space.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I know congratulations are in order for you and for Neshaminy
Yeah.
Creek because I know you not only last year had a medal, but this year, did I see right? You had two medals last year.
We had 2 medals last year.
One this year. The one this year was what? Croydon's Burning.
Croydon's
right?
Burning. Yep.
All right.
So that's the second medal, second year in a row, second
awesome.
medal for our smoked rock beer lager.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
Very
There's a
nice,
lot
very
of
nice.
Eastern Pennsylvania really kicked ass at GABF this year.
and it's crazy. Like there's. Well, when you've had some success like we've had, particularly last year, and you win two medals. We came home this year with only one, and my wife said to me, she's like, "Are you disappointed you didn't win more than one?" And I said, "No. You know how hard it is to win a medal?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll take one any day. I don't care what. I've always said I don't care what color the medal is. I don't care if it's one. If you take one home, it's certainly an honor. And not even that. We were talking about it at during the awards ceremony because they put out all the stats and all the figures. When we applied for our TTB brewery notice in 2010, there was only 1,500 breweries in America and licensed breweries in America, and there was 2,300 breweries that were entered into GABF this year. So
Wow.
that shows you how difficult and how
Yeah.
challenging it can be. So
that's awesome.
Breaking news: we're finally drinking beer.
Yeah, it's
We
true.
are. Our first beer of the fest is Croydon is Burning.
Is the medal winner
The
itself.
award-winning. We only start with award-winning beers on this show. Oh, that is so nice.
I love this beer.
Ooh, it's got a really awesome smokiness.
Just enough
Yep.
smokiness, not too much.
Yeah.
it's like a ham sandwich.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's,
it is.
It's
You know,
a
my-
liquid ham sandwich in a good way.
I probably mentioned this before on the show. My intro to smoky beers was Schlenkerla.
That's a big
So
introduction.
you just go
Yeah.
right into the deep end. This would have been
Schlenkerla is one of the best beers on the planet.
Have you ever had it in Germany?
no.
Then you actually haven't drank that beer. And I don't mean to be a dick in
No,
saying
no, no,
that.
no. It's
Because
probably
I've
totally
had that
different.
beer in Germany and here in the States, and I'll tell you what, it is obviously a very smoky beer here. Wow. I don't want to say it's undrinkable, but it is really rough.
It is
powerful.
nigh
It is-
undrinkable.
When it's fresh, it's like a liquid campfire. It is a lot of smoke. I like it a little bit with a little bit of age on it because it brings it down just
Yeah.
a little bit. They're great beers, and
Oh, yeah.
no way I wouldn't say that. But
Well, this is awesome. It's the right amount of smokiness. You can get the maltiness out of it. Nice little sweetness in the back end.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love
I've
this.
always felt that this beer, besides you get a lot of the smokiness in the aroma and the flavor, and it rides in the back, the aftertaste, but it doesn't overpower the the aftertaste. And the other side, there is a fair amount of malt
I was
complexity.
going to say,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a
in
nice
there.
malt character to it that's nicely balanced by the
Yeah.
smoke.
We also were kind of joking about all the medals. Is that every single one of our beers has never been brewed. So we've won four. I don't want to say only. We've won 4 medals. And
Only 4.
all 4 medals, 2 beers, Churchville and Croydon's Burning, and all 4 of those medals, the beer wasn't made exactly the same way as the previous medal. Each one was
Oh,
different.
really?
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
This recipe was exactly the same, except for we did a decoction mash actually on this.
Ooh.
As last year's medal, we just did a single infusion.
Yeah.
Whereas this year we said, okay, let's see if we can
turn
do
it
better
up.
than a bronze, and let's do let's be really stupid about it and doing a decoction mash.
Very nice.
I really like it. This
So
is
yeah,
awesome.
you don't have to do the decoction mash. We could have saved ourselves about
yeah.
about 6 or 8 hours and done a single infusion.
Now you know for next time.
and still could have gotten a bronze. So there we go.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you really
I-
don't have to do a decoction.
I mean, there's a certain amount of fun that goes in it, but I also think that sometimes
Wow,
it's not
I
as
don't
cool.
think I've ever heard a brewer call that fun.
It's
right.
fun if you're doing it once every year. It's not fun if you're doing it every day. But I mean, it's the tradition behind it. I think it can be a lot of fun. It's not as fun as a 13-hour turbid mash lambic, but which we've done a few of, which you won't see the light of day for another 24 months. But yeah, it's part of the joy of all that.
Oh, I cheated myself on this pour. I'll get more then. So you had another bottle you brought to the table, which, by the way, I love that you're bringing bottles and cans and everything. Thank you for all of that.
Oh, no problem.
But what is this other one? I didn't get it. There's a spaceship in the name.
So this is Hyper Spaceship Lager.
Hyper Spaceship Lager.
This was our GABF Pro-Am entry this year that was brewed with Rob Knighton out of Lancaster. This was the Best of Show winner from War of the Warts this year. So this is a fest beer, a Helles fest beer. So as opposed to your Märzen Oktoberfest, this is your Helles. This is what you would now see on the tables in Munich during Oktoberfest. So no, I mean I'll tell you what, I love this beer.
Oh.
I can drink the shit out of this beer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Definitely. This is definitely a drink the shit out of it beer.
Oh my God.
It's really nice.
5.6, I believe. Yeah, 5.6 or no, 5.2.
5.2.
5.6 is actually the rock beer.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, from the moment we actually ripped through the kegs of this really quickly, and I know we don't have many cases left, but I've been drinking this. I'm upset that it's not on draft anymore because it's been really the beer I've been drinking a lot of over the last 2 months.
So did you know that the winner of that the winner would be the one that would brew with you, or is that how?
Yeah, so we
was
actually
set up?
we're lucky enough we get to pick the beer off of the Best of Show table.
Nice.
So we've done that 4 years now, 4 years in a row. This is the fourth time we've done it in association with Keystone Hops and War of the Warts. So we're lucky enough where they let us come in. I usually judge the competition anyway because I'm a BJCP judge, but this year I had ACL replacement and meniscus repair surgery. 10 days prior to the competition.
Oh my God.
So I told them, like, look, I'll come and sit on the Best of Show table, but I'm not sitting through 4 to 6 hours worth of judging. With a giant metal brace on my leg. Plus, by that point I had already stopped taking the.
I was going to say you were probably on pain meds or something.
I stopped taking them after the first 3 days, just because I didn't like the way they were making me feel. So I only took the Percocets for 3 days.
Yeah,
but I did not. I only missed 1 day of work. I was only.
That's good.
I only missed a day of the surgery. I was here the next day.
Wow.
So
dedication, man.
I got up the next morning and I said, I can't sit around all day. I called Uber. I called an Uber. I hailed, requested an Uber and had them bring me down. So.
And that's why your beer wins medals.
that's true.
Maybe
that kind of commitment.
That dedication and commitment. But no, Rob's an awesome brewer. Actually, Rob, it would have been awesome to win another GABF medal for this year because Rob actually won, I believe, a gold at a National Homebrew Conference or competition this year with his Hefeweizen as well.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
We were joking around with him after he had won the medal at NHC that if we won a medal at GABF Pro-Am, how many people have done that? Have won a medal at NHC and then won a medal
in the same year.
In the same year. So unfortunately we didn't, but I mean it was still a lot of fun to brew with Rob. Rob's a really dedicated and really experienced, great brewer.
It's like the beer version of an EGOT. An Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Yeah. The only thing you do is if you the trifecta would be World Beer Cup, NHC, and then GABF Pro-Am.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a Pro-Am and World Beer Cup, so I don't think you technically enter. So you could, if you wanted to, enter it as a commercial brewery, then brewed a home brew and entered it into NHC and one as a home brewer, and then one as a combined, Pro-Am.
There's got to be
entry.
a loophole.
Yeah,
there's got to be.
It's possible. There's nothing against it.
Wouldn't
You just can't.
Wouldn't it be more like the horse that wins all three? What do they call that?
The Triple Crown.
Yeah,
the Triple Crown.
More like
Here's
a Triple
technicality.
Crown.
If you live in the brewery, do they count as home brews?
I think the only thing to do, or the only way it would be classified, it has to be classified as home brew, is that you don't sell it. It's not commercially available.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
whether
So
you
just do like a small batch that you don't sell, and then
or you can give it away. You can do it at beer festivals like this.
give it away now.
There are some competitions though that have very strict rules about that. Like you can't be an employee of a brewery, or you can't have worked
You have
at a
to be
brewery.
like a legitimate
you have to
amateur.
be an actual amateur.
Yeah.
So
But what about like if you are,
I love how we're trying to.
See, I
find
don't
the
know.
rules.
if you're a bar back or bartender and you don't actually brew the beer, like you could still homebrew as a hobby, but now you're
Yeah, but
disqualified
I
for those
guess-
competitions because you
I
work
guess
somewhere.
you could have an unfair advantage over someone who's never worked or doesn't work in a brewery because you are exposed to.
Still,
But on the
regardless.
flip side, I know plenty of homebrewers that are better than a lot of them.
well, yeah.
True.
I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
We'll leave it at
I know. I mean, not that there's a million of them out there, but there's certainly homebrewers out there. One that always comes to mind, and I won't mention Josh's name, that are great brewers that have and I've asked them several times, like, why haven't you started a brewery? and their response has usually been very similar in the sense that they don't want to turn their hobby into a profession, and I respect that.
I think we asked Josh that question when he was on the show. Actually.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think that was his same answer.
Josh is an amazing brewer, and he him and. I think the short list of names around here are pretty evident. There's people that have been.
We all know them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't need to be said. But no, I mean that's a perfect example.
So can I get a whole can myself?
You can take the whole 6-pack. That's for you guys.
I can have the whole 6-pack myself now.
Get out of here!
This is 7.6, and there's a beer.
Yes,
fest
but I have
going
been
on.
wanting this beer.
1/10% of the 7.6 in my opinion.
Oh God, that's deadly.
All right. Are you taking a whole can too?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, this is going to be my
We gotta
sipping
start
beer for
strong.
the rest of the day.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to work my way up to get ready to the.
That's a pretty hefty sipping beer.
This is a lot of peer pressure.
I can't say what I want.
I was
to
just going to pour myself a sample like the others, and now I feel peer pressure to just
Nah,
Go
go
big,
for it.
go big or
this
go
can
home.
all day.
Go
Okay.
big or go home.
So this is Zeke and Destroy.
This is Zeke and Destroy. Yep.
An imperial
amber.
Yep.
Dry hopped
It's
with.
so good.
with Citra Calypso and Denali.
Yep.
Thank you, Dan.
Now we want to do something. Obviously, big hoppy beers are. We enjoy making them, so
Yeah.
they're all the rage. But they don't all have to be pale or turbid, crazy New England IPAs or West Coast IPAs. There's been sort of in my opinion, maybe not a lost art, but a lack of attention to darker or amber beers like this that can carry a huge hop flavor and
Yep.
aroma. So this one to me is like there's all this bread crust mixed with there's something about the Denali and the Calypso together that gives it like this key lime tropical fruit.
It does. It does
Yeah.
have like that lime citrus at the end. Yeah, yeah.
You are not kidding. This does not feel like 7.6.
It's on the money, 7.6.
Like I would have put it like 4.5 or 5. Holy,
I think
crap.
I think I would have put it a little higher than that.
Really?
But yeah, it
I
does,
think
it
the malt
doesn't-
build covers. It's
Yeah.
it's a pretty
Yeah.
it's a pretty complex beer. It's got a lot of stuff going on.
I've been waiting ever since you guys posted about this beer. I've been waiting to have it, so I've had my fingers crossed when we were on our way that you would still have some.
I did not know it was kicked on draft until I went to go get some for the podcast just 10, 15 minutes
I guess
ago.
we should mention who Zeke is too for those
Do you
that
know who Zeke is?
I've met him before. Yes.
Okay. If you are from the Philadelphia area, there's a good chance you know who Zeke is. Zeke is actually one of our sales reps. But prior to that, Zeke has been a man on the craft beer and the homebrew scene here in Southeast PA. He's a member of our homebrew club, Aliens, and then we were lucky enough about a little less than 2 years ago, I think it is now, that we were able to bring Zeke on as a sales rep.
Oh, cool.
Going all the way back to the start of the brewery, one of the first T-shirts we had made was a big T-shirt, a huge print on this T-shirt that says Zeke rules, and it's this homage to Zeke. I wouldn't call it a caricature, but it's Zeke on like this Harley, ripping through, and it's called Zeke rules because we love Zeke. Even we knowing Zeke and before the brewery opened and being able to bring him in. So there was that, and then one of our brewers, actually he's now shifted over to being one of our packaging leads. Colin had come up to me, being stupid metalheads that we are here too. He's like, dude, we got to make a beer name called because Zeke started working here. We got to call it Zeke and Destroy. And Zeke is from Texas, and Colin had really said we should make it a Mexican lager, and I was like, well, we already have a Vienna here, so. And I don't think, on top of that, I wouldn't want to make a light lager like Corona because Zeke is just this, a light, Mexican lager like that doesn't do him any justice.
Right.
So I was like, let's do something a little bit, with a little bit more brashness and boldness to it. So let's make an Imperial Amber. And then, of course, it has a tie-in with, his name works really well.
yeah, definitely.
With the whole concept. And then going through the artwork, I originally, JP had sent me something, and I wasn't actually feeling the artwork all that much. And Zeke had said something to me about like this whole Arnold Schwarzenegger commando thing, where he has like. So then I had relayed that to JP, so that's where the bottle launcher, came.
He's launching bottles. I just noticed that. Okay.
So it's a bottle launcher,
Nice.
instead of a rocket launcher.
Instead of a rocket launcher.
So the bottle's
Very
a
nice.
rocket, yeah.
Wow.
So I think we only have about 4 or 5 more cases left in the back of this. I know we had like less than 10 to start the weekend.
Wow.
Wow.
This beer is delicious.
It really is.
Super, super good.
Now,
really happy with this beer.
We would love if I know you're quite busy throughout the day, but we're hoping maybe perhaps at the end of the show, maybe we can snag you and do a quick outro, maybe sip one more beer with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the cool thing about a lot of the events that we do here is I usually end up doing sound.
Yeah.
And the band,
Which is why we snagged you early.
Well, no, it actually worked out real well because the way it ended up doing ended up going down was that we know the guys from Soul Custody, in particular Eli, pretty well. And Eli had come in a week ago, and we were going over to the PA, and he's like, well, dude, if you want, like, I got our guy. He can do sound. And I was like,
Nice.
Sure.
Now you can get shit-faced.
Well, I'm not going to do that. There's other things I need to do, but I have less responsibility than I did. So
fantastic.
That's
That's
always
cool.
nice.
That's
But I
cool.
can certainly come back at the end.
That would be awesome.
can
We
drink
will
more
we
and
will
more.
send Rich to come find you,
Cool.
and because I'm sure there's so much more that we can talk about.
I think that would make a good last call.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Cool.
You would be a great last call.
Well, you guys, I don't want to suck up too much of your time because you have some great brewers like Kurt
Yes.
here
Hey!
and Jake and
We have a
and Jay.
schedule
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
This is the most organized we've ever been.
Although
I mean,
it's
we're
all
already
Steph.
10 minutes behind
we're a little
schedule.
behind,
And
but
that is
that's
my
okay.
fault.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay.
Nah, you were saying hi to Mom. You're
It
fine.
was definitely my fault. So.
Moms come first.
That's
That
how
is
we
true.
roll. We kind of knew that was going to happen anyway.
That's true. All right. Well, thanks, Jeremy.
No
thanks
problem.
for having us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Thank
we'll
you
talk
so much,
later.
man. Cheers.
So now that we're slightly behind schedule, but it's all right. It's a fun day. We're allowed to do that.
That's right.
We have a new friend coming up to the table. We have Kurt from Mad Princess Brewing. Kurt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming up to the table. Have you done this event before?
We have not. This is
Okay.
our first time at the event.
Very cool. What do you think so far?
I'm enjoying it. We don't do a lot of events because we're so small. We don't have the manpower or the beer to spare, and we try and limit it to local events, especially if they're a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Speaking of local, where exactly is Mad Prince's located?
We're in Buckingham
Okay.
Township, in the central part of the county,
Okay.
Bucks County. It's where 413, 202, and 263 all converge right there.
Okay. And how big is the brewery? How big is the system you guys use?
We're probably the smallest brewery in the county.
Okay.
We're brewing on.
I thought you were going to say state. So.
we could probably make a run at that too. We are currently using a half-barrel brewing system.
Holy crap.
Wow. Okay,
You
you're
are
not
a
kidding.
true nano
That
brewery.
is nano. Yeah.
So-
Sweet.
Generally, we brew twice a day
Okay.
to make a barrel of beer, if the gravity's low enough.
Right.
If it's a high-gravity beer, we might only be able to do 12 or 13 gallons a batch, twice, and we still use carboys
Oh, wow.
for 10-gallon or 12-gallon batches of beer for something
Yeah.
that's like super high gravity or an experimental beer that we can't afford to like have it not turn out and
Right.
have a whole barrel that's sitting around.
Right.
So-
So I have to ask, why only a half barrel? Why would you do that to yourselves?
We started. It's me and my brother that operate the brewery. My brother Jim.
Your brother Jim, yeah, who is also here.
He is not here.
He is not here.
Dan is that's my neighbor.
Dan.
Yeah.
That's who I
yeah.
meant. That's right, because I said, I won't forget, because we have a Dan, and
Yeah.
then I
And
forgot.
you forgot anyway.
There's only two of us again. So when we do an event, we need to go out and like find volunteers
Right. Yeah.
to help us out. So our neighbor to the brewery is working at the brewery right now in my place, and Dan, my neighbor at home, is helping us pour.
Is pouring beer for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's a whole community effort. That's nice.
So we started brewing in my brother Jim's kitchen,
Okay.
and then we got slightly bigger equipment, and then we were on his patio. Then we were in his breezeway. And then we got this half-barrel all-grain system, and we were in his garage.
Right.
And then when we decided to try and make a go of it as an actual brewery, we basically just moved the equipment that was in his garage.
Into a commercial
Into a
space.
commercial space.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
cool. And that was almost 2 years ago because your second anniversary is coming up
Next month. Yep.
Next month. That's cool.
Are you having a big event for your second anniversary?
We're not having a huge event again
Because they don't have a whole lot of
right,
beer.
We don't have a lot of beer. We'll do something, and we'll have a couple of special beers for it.
Uh-huh.
But it won't be anything huge because our space is small.
Yeah.
And our production is limited. We opened with 4 taps, and we're up to 7 now. One of
Wow.
them being a nitro line, and we don't run out of beer. But like this weekend, we may go down to 6 taps because one of our beers is probably going to kick, and we don't have anything ready to go
Yeah.
on
Right.
behind it yet.
So do you? Sorry, the half barrel thing is still in my head. I find it very intriguing that you would go into open professionally, but like it seems like it would be a challenge to do that, which I can totally appreciate that. But do you find yourself or see yourself upgrading to a different system down the road?
Sure.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Our building is only 1,700 square feet.
Okay.
And half of that is the tasting room.
Right.
So we can upgrade. We have plans to upgrade to a 2 or 3 barrel system.
Okay.
Which is still tiny,
Yeah.
but it's 6 times bigger than what we have now.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing we've learned on this podcast is that you can fit brewing equipment in much smaller spaces than you would think.
Yeah, so we can make that fit. That's probably about as big as we can get where we are now.
Okay, cool.
6, 7 barrel fermenters. The
Right.
space we're in previously was the retail shop for a blacksmith.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
What?
cool.
Yeah. So you can imagine what the space looks
Oh my
like.
Right,
God.
yeah.
It's a nice space. Originally, before that, it was a gas station in a garage.
Oh, wow.
So we have double thick concrete floors
Right.
and 10-foot high ceilings.
Oh, that's cool. So,
So we
Oh, yeah,
can
you
fit-
can definitely build up.
we
yeah.
can build up,
Yeah.
and the weight's not an issue.
nice.
The concrete floors are nice for beer's heavy,
yeah.
but when we were doing some retrofitting to put in new drains and new plumbing, we have a friend who installs commercial pools.
Mm-hmm.
So he came with this gigantic water-cooled cement saw and
Right.
jackhammer. And we had everything lined out, and we're sawing and jackhammering, carrying the stuff out, and we're like, thank God that's done. There's another slab of concrete
Oh no.
because it was a garage.
Yeah.
Don't
And,
sit
we're
down.
like,
It's time to dig another
no.
one.
Yeah. Fire it up.
So I kind of cheated. I started sipping already.
I haven't
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't either. So
But
what is?
Kurt brought the first beer, Soulbury Saison.
Soulbury Saison. That's one of our main, big 3 beers that we call one of our oldest recipes.
Very cool.
We started brewing. We're located in Buckingham Township, but my brother
Not
lives
Palace.
No.
Township. Right.
Township.
Okay.
It eventually will become a palace.
Oh, please tell me you have a beer that's called Changing of the Guards.
We do not yet.
You should.
But my brother lives in Soulbury, so when we started brewing this beer, we were brewing it in Soulbury. We just kept the name.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very cool.
Very nice. Well, Saison is definitely one of my favorite
Yeah.
styles, so you got points for me for bringing that up, and for us drinking that one first.
I really like the Saison. This is great.
We have about 4 or 5 versions of that beer. Our most popular version of it is our Spruce Saison that we make with fresh spruce tips that from trees in Jim's yard
right.
that get snipped that morning,
Okay.
That's cool.
and a couple hours later they're in the beer.
Freshly spruced.
Again, a community.
Freshly
A
spruced,
community
We only
effort.
make it once a year in May, 1 or 2 batches, and by the end of June it's gone.
Wow.
It just goes. That's
Yeah.
that might be one of our most popular
ones.
beers.
Yeah, I can see why. Very good.
Yeah, especially
So-
if it's that fresh. Yeah.
I got to say, you got some guts on this next one. Because
Yeah. What is the next one?
We just had a GABF award-winning
Ooh,
Rauch beer
that's true.
Yep.
before you sat down. So let's see. So this is Rauch Malt Alt, a
Yes.
smoked alt beer.
Ooh.
I like
nice.
that.
That
And
is
it's a
very nice.
guest recipe. We have a guest recipe program.
Oh, how cool. How does that work?
When you're a home brewer, as probably everybody that's serving right now started out.
Yeah.
You brew far more beer than you drink. You give away most of it.
Oh yeah.
So we have people come in all the time with their home brews, and we're like, sure, we'll give it a go. You know,
Mhm.
it's in a bottle. I'll drink it. And ones that we really like, we're like, we'd like to brew that beer here.
Right. Yeah.
So bring in your recipe. I'll convert it from whatever form it's in.
Right.
You come in and brew it with us. As long as we brew it here, we can serve it.
Right. Yeah.
And you get to name it. You get credit for it. It'll be in the notes. We advertise it as your beer, and it's a win-win.
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
It's all the glory for the home brewer,
Right.
and we get
And you get beer to sell
because they're going
You
to
have
bring in
beer
all
to
their
sell.
friends. Any home brewer, it's like my beer's on tap.
at a bar,
Yeah.
at a brewery. Yeah, definitely.
They bring everybody in.
That's
so,
awesome.
Kurt, if people want to learn more about Mad Princes, Facebook, website, what's the best way for people to reach out and find you?
We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we have a webpage.
Just search for Mad Princes Brewing.
Yep,
Perfect.
and it'll come up. We have the webpage is up to date in real time with the list.
Awesome.
The beer list.
That's not always true with all breweries.
That's
so I
true. That's true.
appreciate
That's
that.
important to keep that updated.
If a beer kicks and something else goes on, within 10 minutes the webpage will be
That's
up.
that's
impressive.
important too. That's such a small system because you got to be able to get things on and off all the time. That's awesome.
Things are going on and off because the biggest batch of beer we do, like we just did a London Mild. It just went on this weekend.
Ooh.
It's 3%.
Ooh.
And we were actually able to do an extra sixtel of it because it's such a low gravity beer.
Right.
But that went on, and like as soon as that kicks, the next beer will be listed
Right.
within 10 minutes.
That's cool.
Awesome.
That's very important.
Very cool,
I
very
appreciate
cool.
you
Yeah.
doing that.
Well,
Yeah,
Kurt,
definitely.
it was really awesome to meet you.
Yeah,
I
man.
look forward to coming out to your tiny spot and checking it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Thank you.
good luck. Have fun today.
All right,
Yeah.
this was great fun.
Yeah.
Thank you
Cool.
very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Kurt.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers,
Cheers.
man.
So this is a day of new friends here on Beer Busters.
I love that.
And I
This
know.
is why we love Beer Fest.
I
We get to meet
love
new people
fests.
from new breweries we haven't had on the show before.
Yeah, and the current new friend that we have at the table is Jake from Second Sin Brewing. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Thanks for coming up here.
Jake and his beard.
I know.
Yeah,
It-
it's
it
kind
is
of
quite
standard
impressive.
issue for being a brewer.
Standard issue.
Yeah,
Do you have cargo shorts as well?
No.
Okay.
Those went the way of the dodo a few years ago.
Cargo shirts are
I appreciate that.
cool
You keep the beard, but you keep up with fashion trends as well.
I still wear cargo shirts.
I do too. One of my favorite pairs of shorts is cargo. But Second Sin? I have not heard of you guys yet. Where are you guys located?
So currently we're not located anywhere.
Never
'cause,
mind.
That's why you haven't heard of
That
them.
makes
that's
sense.
probably why you haven't heard of us.
Yeah.
We're a brewery in planning right now.
Cool.
I currently work here at Neshaminy Creek.
Oh, great.
I've been a brewer here for coming up on 3.5 years.
Cool.
And so it's me and two of my best friends from middle and high school. We're opening this brewery together. We're working on a lease for a building in Doylestown right now.
Oh, cool.
So if that goes according to plan, we're hoping to be open late summer next year.
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So how long have you worked with Chamonix?
For
3.5 years.
3 years.
Yeah, it'll be 3.5 years next month.
I was not paying attention.
So had you?
Wayne's drunk
so
already.
yeah, right. Well, we had him open an entire can of Zeke, so yeah.
It's all
As
my
he
fault.
won't let us forget. So professional brewing here. Do you have other professional experience, or have you been home brewing for years? I would assume.
I've been brewing for almost 10 years now, home brewing. I started out home brewing in college, and so wasn't super serious about it the first couple years,
Right.
and then I think maybe 2011, my friends and I got way more into it. I started reading a lot more about it, and then that's when I started looking for a job in a brewery. So 2013, in September, I started an apprenticeship at Climax Brewing Company in New Jersey. So I worked there for 6 months, just kind of like learning the ropes, and then I worked there like another 3 months as an assistant brewer, kind of like promoted a little bit. And then this is a way easier drive for me. I live in Levittown. It's like 20 minutes
yeah,
away.
totally.
So then going to North Jersey every day.
Plus, you don't have to go to Jersey. Period. So
Yeah.
It's always a plus.
The Turnpike and Garden State Parkway at 8 o'clock in the morning is just terrible.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
But so I live about 20 minutes away from here. They were looking for somebody. So I immediately applied and then started in June of 2014.
Cool. Very cool, man.
So where did you go from, I work at a really cool brewery, to I want to open my own brewery?
I've actually wanted to open this brewery since I stared working at breweries in general. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah? So it's
why I did
always
it.
been the dream.
Yeah, back in college, me and my one co-founder, Mike, we talked about it a lot, and Phil had always been homebrewing with me, and then we just kind of decided that's where we want to go with our lives. I've always known I was going to, do it professionally in some capacity with the eye towards starting my own, and so having them along, it just kind of made it natural because Mike is an accountant by trade, and Phil's he's going to be like fix everything and
Right.
manage people.
That's
'cause
what you
that's
need:
what he
a
does.
brewer, a handyman, and an accountant. Open a brewery.
And a janitor.
That's the
Well,
brewer.
I mean,
That's the
brewer
brewer.
slash
That's the
janitor,
brewer.
that's the same
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, let's
I
be
know.
honest.
I know. So you brought 3 beers to the table, which is awesome. And the first one has a very punny name for this event,
Oh, I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, actually, that ties in very nicely. Yeah.
the Fest and the Furious. Because it's a fest beer, and we're at a fest, and there's fast cars here. So it works on so many levels.
I was thinking on the first level because I just love Fast and the Furious.
I have never seen any of those movies.
Nor have I, actually.
Wait, so this
I
beer,
might walk off this stage.
Oh, wow. Rage quit.
Oh, man.
Rage
what
quit
is
the
beer?
beer
pod.
I
wasn't
want
brewed
to.
for this event?
Oh, no, it was brewed for this event.
okay.
I didn't think... I named it Fast and the Furious simply because it was a fest beer, and I thought it was a funny name for a fest beer.
Yeah.
I didn't think about, having the cars at the event or anything.
It's so perfect, though.
It just-
Serendipity.
So
yeah.
cheers to that.
We just love Fast and the Furious movies. I go to the midnight showing every time they come out every 2 years.
So I gotta
They do
ask,
that?
and maybe it's because I haven't seen them, and I thought it was just like, cheap thrills on a car movie where they drift around. It's what's the draw behind the movies?
Hot guys in cars.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
wait, that's the draw for
Well, I
females.
know Michelle Rodriguez is in it too. I like her a
Hot
lot.
chicks in cars.
Well, there's always plenty of hot chicks in cars as well.
Oh,
And
that's a draw.
It's
I'm
everything.
sure it has
It's
a great plot line, too, right?
I actually think the plots are awesome.
See?
They're ridiculous, but the whole point is that they're ridiculous.
Well, wasn't there a point? Wasn't there a point in the franchise where they kind of became like self-aware and realized like these are ridiculous action movies. Let's embrace that.
I think they embraced that the most in 5 when they basically leveled half of Brazil,
Oh
which would have cost like $50 billion to repair. But like 4 is when they like killed off Letty and then she comes back. But it's
Wait, is that
They-
a spoiler alert?
Come
Spoiler.
on, man.
I think if it's been out for over 10 years,
I know. I
it doesn't
know
count.
right to claim
It's been
that.
that long.
If it's
It was
Oh,
out in 2009.
if it's like 4 years, you
Wow, that
officially
is
know.
almost 10 years.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel old.
It's been around forever.
Right.
I haven't tried this beer yet. I'm going to take
Oh,
a sip
come
of this
on. I
beer. I'm
really want
sorry.
to get to the next
Well,
one.
I know.
I mean, it's good, but I want to drink
I was
this.
too
The best
busy.
beer is very
I was
good.
too busy, talking about movies. I like movies.
Movie Busters.
So yeah, a little bit about the fest beer. Basically, I started with the idea of I like fest beers, but I think they have a little bit too much sweetness sometimes. So I wanted to dial that back, but also I like Dortmunders, which are a little bit hoppier. So I kind of wanted it to be, a hoppy fest beer / a more malty Dortmunder.
right.
There's a couple of things I want to change about it. This is the first time we brewed this, but overall, I'm decently happy with it.
I liked. I've actually finished it already, but I like the. I did like the hop character. Like
Yes,
it had.
the floral hops.
Yeah, and it had a nice.
Yeah.
dimension to a fest beer.
Ooh, the
that I
aroma is
wasn't
really
expecting.
great too.
Yeah.
That's why
I love that you and I just
Yeah.
did that.
Finished each other's sandwiches.
I almost said that. That would have been great if we said it at the same time.
Yes, it would.
But yeah, that's why on the sign I specifically say it's hopped with Tettnang and Hallertau, because if you hear dry hop most of the time I think it's going to be like a fruit bomb, and that's not the idea behind the beer. So I wanted that floral, more herbal, noble hop character.
Right.
So yeah, and then I think one of the changes I want to make is a slightly cleaner fermentation profile, which I think will let that pop even a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, can we get to the pretty
You
purple
can get
beer?
to the yeah.
So now we
so
have
I
a-
saw Rich carrying this over, and as soon as he had it, I was really intrigued.
Just smell it.
Oh, that's raspberry.
I see what you
No,
did
wait,
there.
no, that's Radberry.
Oh, that's what you should have called it. That's rad.
You can
Well,
have
it's
that. You can have that.
it's a Simpsons quote.
Oh, even better. What is it?
So the episode where Homer puts on a lot of weight to go on disability.
Oh, come on.
And Lisa's on the bus and she says, "Oh, don't make fun of my dad. He's not some food crazed maniac." And Homer's driving by in a stolen ice cream truck, and he's like, "Ooh, that's raspberry."
Wow, Dan, you lose. The Simpsons reference you didn't get. He had to explain it to you.
Well, no, he was going in the story. He didn't say what the quote. I didn't know the quote.
Nah.
I didn't know the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause she
I-
said
you didn't know the name
he
of the
said,
beer.
"Oh, that's raspberry." So I think
Oh, that's. I thought you were just commenting
Dan
on
doesn't
that.
have his notes pulled up.
Oh,
I
that's
don't.
right, yeah.
Well, no, they're. It's like I said earlier. They're on the other screen of the computer, but I'd rather monitor our recording so I
Fair
can
enough.
make sure this is
Fair enough.
captured. So
Yeah, fair enough.
screw
Look,
both of you.
You've got one screen not in use.
Yeah, but I also the Wi-Fi's dropping out on here, and I don't want to waste my data.
Oh, that's right. Dan's
Thanks-
almost out of data.
Thanks,
so
Verizon.
I have to GPS us home.
Thanks, Verizon.
Get on 95 and drive south.
Yes,
You'll be
pretty
home.
pretty much
like I do.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of this beer,
Yes.
this is really awesome.
How
you.
many, there must be a shit ton of raspberries in this beer.
Oh my god! Oh
since,
my god!
since we're not open, we're obviously still homebrewers.
Right.
From a legal and practical perspective. So for a 6-gallon batch of this beer, we used 9 pounds of raspberries. So
Wow.
a little bit less than 6 got racked onto the fruit. So it's right around 1.5 pounds per gallon.
Wow. And all fresh raspberries, no extract.
It's
or anything?
raspberry puree, so
Okay.
it's real fruit
Right.
that is just pureed and then de-seeded, and then they pasteurize it.
Added in secondary then.
So
Yeah.
post-fermentation.
Nice.
It's quite tasty.
So-
Hence the beautiful color.
We've done a few different iterations of this beer. The first one was just a straight Goza, and then last summer we brewed a version with watermelon.
Nice.
That turned out really well because my dad always salted watermelon when he was eating it, and I thought that
okay.
I don't particularly like that, but I thought the idea of the salt from a Goza and
yeah.
the watermelon would work well, and it turned out pretty nice.
That's an interesting idea. And I like a Himalayan sea salt.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to pay the extra money for it, I'm going to
Might
put the
as
name
well.
of the word on
Yeah.
there.
Right? Yeah.
And then, of course, you can't be a new brewery if you don't brew an IPA.
A Northeast
I know.
IPA.
That's what all the cool kids are drinking, apparently. Ooh, it
I can't get
smells
over how
quite
raspberry
nice.
the raspberry is.
It's very good. Oh, sorry.
The raspberries taste like raspberries.
I was just going to say that.
What the hell is the name of this thing?
So it's FCEAD NEIPA.
I'm sorry, what now?
It's
Figiniaba.
It's FCEAD NEIPA.
FCEAD NEIPA.
Correct.
See, NEIPA I get.
Yeah,
What's the other part?
that's classified.
I respect that.
Perfect.
Best answer ever. But
So,
really, what does it mean?
so this beer, it's pretty standard Northeast IPA grain bill, like 20% oats, Maris Otter, and this one has about an equal proportion of wheat, so it's like 20% oats, 20% wheat, and the rest Maris Otter. It's hopped with in the kettle with Idaho 7 and citrolupulin powder, and then we do a double dry hopping process, one during active fermentation with the citrolupulin powder, and then it's a pretty hefty second dry hop with mostly Idaho 7 and a smidge more lupulin powder.
It's quite tasty.
It's really good. It's very smooth,
Hey!
for lack of a better term.
You are welcome.
Even given like the prominent hop character, it drinks very, like a smoothie-ish.
And that's what I don't like about a lot of NEIPAs is you feel the hoppiness afterwards for a few minutes after you take the sip. This doesn't. It's there. It hits you, and you're like, oh, hey, cool. Obviously Northeastern IPA. And then it's gone, and you want more. I like it.
So I would like to posit fuzzy Canadians eat another donut.
You know what? That's fine. And
right.
you know what? I'm going to say it means whatever you believe it means.
Oh, I like that. Okay. It's open to interpretation.
So I'm sure
I hope
that
the F stands for fuck. I really do.
Fucking Canadians.
you know, you're doing your podcast. I'm sure all the beers you drink are good.
Yeah.
But I mean, feel free to be brutally honest with me because
No, honest.
I can take it.
I love it.
So
No, usually when we don't like a beer, we just don't talk
I was
much.
going to say,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
that'll probably get, but yeah, we just kind of, let's go on to the next beer. No, this is good. And I am
No, this has all been very good.
I am
Yeah.
harsh on IPAs that throw all the hops at you because I want my palate to be okay. But this gets the hoppiness, and my palate's okay.
It's got a nice softness to it.
That's
That
I mean
makes
that,
it,
that
like,
is
really
one of the
drinkable.
hallmarks, and that's kind of
Yeah.
like I think that mostly comes. I mean, how dirty do you want me to get? I don't know, like what your listeners like. It's pretty common in Northeast IPA, but
Right.
like if you're not a brewer, I don't know if they know about it. It has the water that we use has a higher chloride content.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I shoot for a higher chloride to sulfate ratio than you would if you were making like a West Coast IPA, which
Right.
would be
Right.
more sulfate heavy. This is like 2.4 to 1. Chloride to sulfate, and so that's really helps with like the fullness of the mouthfeel, along with the oats, along with a yeast that leaves a bit more behind and gives you a bit more of that like kind of
Right.
silky mouthfeel.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, your beers are great, and if this is any indication of what you're going to have when Second Sin opens, we're excited.
Great.
So you said, again, late summer 2018.
Yep, and
crossed.
hopefully in Doylestown. That's where we're working on right now.
Very cool. And Second Sin Brewing on Facebook and all the socials. People
Yeah,
wanna
I need to
follow
be
you?
better about social media. So Facebook, we do post on frequently.
That's not
but like Instagram.
A brewer who doesn't keep up on social media.
Yeah, we've
Imagine
never heard of that before.
Although you still get points for throwing out the cargo shorts.
Yes. So, and what is your website?
It would be secondsinbrewing.com.
Very cool. Excellent.
Do you? Is it 2ND or is it the word
Oh,
second?
it's the
spelled
word
out?
the word
Okay.
second. Yep. Yeah,
Thank you.
officially our name is second spelled out.
Very
Nice
cool.
logo, by the way.
Oh, thank
I
you.
like the logo on the T-shirt. That's pretty awesome.
There's actually a really cool website that I went to that like you can post a description of what it is you're looking for, and then a gaggle of designers will like take a crack at it, and
then
then
you
like
pick one.
you post a budget for it.
Right.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
and then whichever one you like is the one that like gets paid for it, and then
Yeah.
you get the full
All the rights.
all the
and-
copies
Yeah,
and the
a
rights
friend
and
of mine
everything.
is the designer who's submitted designs. I don't think he's gotten any that were bought off there, but I like that concept of it.
Yeah, I
the
mean-
only thing that kind of sucks is if you don't
If you
win,
do the work
don't
and don't get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
But
mean
it's
like
just it's a strive to get better at that point.
Yeah, it's
Duh.
a way to get your work out there,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's cool. I approve of that.
yeah, like, I was really happy to find that.
Cool. So Second Sin Brewing coming up, hopefully summer 18, late summer 18, and these beers were great. And I'm excited for what's in store for you guys. When you guys open up, obviously we have to come down and record a podcast with you.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I promise that I will bring plenty of Simpsons quotes if you keep up the same.
Oh,
you got it.
Challenge accepted.
I'm this close to getting a Simpsons
Simpsons throwdown.
tattoo. I'm like right
What are you
there.
gonna get? Millpool?
No, probably Blinky.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking
Is
about
that
that for
the
years.
fish?
That's the
Yeah,
it's the
the
three-eyed
three-eyed
fish.
fish.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's like the most tattooed Simpsons thing, though. I feel like you should go something more
No,
obscure.
I think the most tattooed thing is probably like Homer with a donut.
Or flying hellfish.
Or the
You
flying
should just
hellfish.
get Lisa because she's the best one.
Yeah.
Says the vegetarian who is also a girl.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, I mean,
Lisa's the most
you're
hated
Lisa.
character on the
I'm
show.
obviously Homer. Yeah. Go back to your gazpacho.
Wow. Okay. But before you go, I have one more question.
Okay. Sure.
How long have you worked at Neshaminy?
Somewhere between 1 and 10 years.
All right, fair. I like that. Thank you.
Sorry, Jake.
Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Jake,
All right,
thank
thanks
you
a lot.
so
Today.
much for coming up here, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks.
a lot, man.
All right, cool. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
So we already said what we love about Fest. So we get to meet a bunch of new friends. We also get to catch up with old friends, too. And that's awesome. So we have...
And not old by the people are old.
well, no, I mean like friends
Just
that
like
we
we've known
have
them.
already
I'm no
established.
spring chicken.
Hey, you're fine. You're fine. So, keen listeners and those with a keen ear to everything will know that we were recently at St. Benjamin.
Yes, we were.
And I love that place, and I have spent many, many, many a night there. And we had a hell of a time last time we were there. But we have Andrew coming back to the table. Andrew, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Fantastic.
Doing well.
Yeah. How have you been since we last spoke to you?
Pretty good. Pretty much doing the same thing, making a lot of beer.
Good.
Not too much else really.
Yeah.
Brewing
this
beer,
point.
going home, sleeping, and
Yep.
then brewing
Go
beer.
back and do it again.
Making beer, drinking beer.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to
About it, yeah.
hike once in a while or something like that. but
Hey, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's a good way to burn the calories.
I guess, yeah.
Squad goals.
Yeah. Yeah. I burn my calories through playing video games. My thumbs do all the work.
That doesn't count. That
So
does
you get
not
that
count.
heightened heart
Hey,
rate.
hey,
little
it
cardio.
counts when my Apple Watch tells me I hit my
Yeah.
calorie goal for the day, and all I've done is played video games.
There you go. You get a little adrenaline
Like,
going probably too,
My
right?
calorie goal is set to like 5, so it's all right. I was recently back at St. Ben with a friend of mine, and Junto was back on, and I go on and on and on and on and on about that beer all the time. It's such a damn good beer.
Point of order. Is it pronounced Junto or is it Junto?
I thought it was
It's Junto.
Junto.
Because I heard someone recently on another podcast talking about the original, like the Ben Franklin group of people that would get together, and they called it Junto.
I'm pretty sure that Junto is a mispronunciation, but it is
It's an intentional.
supposedly how it was
Okay.
pronounced then.
Well, yeah.
I trust
Well,
you more than my other
Well,
sources.
no, when we were there, I asked Tim about it, and he was saying, because I didn't know it was renamed at the point,
Right.
and Tim himself had said Junto.
Yes.
Right.
I
So
feel like if Tim says Junto, it's Junto.
Well,
Yes,
I mean, the
that's-
beer is definitely whatever they want it to be. I was just
Right.
curious. The historical efficacy, or that's not the right word. Accuracy.
What did we decide that St. Benjamin was? French beers with English names, English beers with French names.
English beers with French,
French
names,
names,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And some good lagers and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
good beer all around.
Really good lagers.
All around. So what's new in the world of St. Ben?
Right now, I mean, coming up on winter, so we have a Belgian stout coming out this week. We've been kind of like, we're out of kegs, so we've been kind of like kegging it as kegs come back from places and getting rid of it. But so that came out this week. We're doing a collaboration with Dad's Hat, so we just put a rye honey porter into some Dad Hat barrels yesterday.
You need to call me when I will give you my phone number. You need to call me when that is ready.
We're very excited about it.
Special secret
You think
alert.
I'm kidding too? That's the best part.
But yeah, so we did that. Fruitwood Orchards is he's this guy Pat. He's a honey guy. He pretty much supplies all the local breweries, at least in the Philadelphia area. And so we brought him in. He kind of connected us with the Dad's Hat people, and they gave us some barrels, and he gave us some honey, and everybody came down and we made some beer. We also
awesome.
used local rye malt from Double Eagle. First time using them for our own stuff. We did brew with their malt for Fermentary Form probably 2 weeks before we brewed for ourselves with it, so it was nice to get a little trial run in there.
Right, yeah. A little try before you buy.
Yeah.
How often does oh my god, what was his name? I'm so sorry.
Ethan.
How could I forget that? How often does Ethan use your equipment there?
He comes in.
How often does he mooch off of your
No.
brewery?
Because I think it seems like a very unique agreement that he has with you
it's
guys.
cool.
It's a great agreement for both of us, I think. Because for us, he comes in with his recipe. Myself or the assistant brewer Josh sort of runs the brew house, but Ethan is there to oversee everything. He's there usually twice a month, sometimes 4 times a month, sometimes once a month. But it's a great arrangement. He's happy, we're happy.
Good.
And his
in the end,
beers
there's beer.
his beers are fantastic.
In
Very
the
good.
end, there's beer.
Yeah.
Just something, it's a great business model. And he's really focusing on what's important, which is the fermentation, the blending, and all of that. And he's just he comes into brew, I can't get any work done because we just sit there and talk about, old English brewing techniques from the 1700s, which he knows a lot more than me about. But really interesting guy and great sensibility with beer and a great palate for tasting beer.
Yeah.
Great person to work with.
Definitely an interesting and unique operation.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we had him on. I mean, obviously, he's super knowledgeable about all of it too, which is really cool. And this is the first I've ever heard of an agreement like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's cool. You guys can be part of that.
Yeah, we're excited. We and I may have said this last time when I was talking to you guys, but when he approached us, we sort of said, all right, well, let's see what this guy's all about. We talked to him for a few minutes, and we got along. We liked him. After he left, we tasted the beer, and we just said, oh, we have to do this.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And it's great arrangement rather than having it go the other way and say, I don't know if we want to be associated with this guy.
Bottom line is it comes down to the beer. Speaking of which,
Speaking of which,
I'm already sipping this beer. We may or may not have had a few times before. But it's quite delicious.
I was going to take a stab at what it is. As we've already established, I don't have my notes open.
This is Parks Pale Ale.
No, it's not.
Nope.
Nope.
I was going to say, it does not look like it would be a pale ale.
Yeah, look.
How can you taste it and think it's a pale ale?
Remember,
after 128 episodes, I would think you know more about
I've got
beer
the
than that.
elementary level education on beer, Wayne, and I know it's not a pale ale.
All you have to do is smell it or look at it.
This is wit or without.
I
There you go.
figured it would be
correct.
that.
There you go.
So, I got to... Typically, whenever I see St. Ben at Beer Fest, I know Inca is always one that you guys have with you. Do you have that today?
We don't have that today.
Okay.
We have our Parkway Centennial Ale, which is a pale ale with Centennial hops, brewed it in association with the Parkway Commission of Philadelphia.
That's right, yeah.
And we have the Wit or Without, which is one of our standards, old standby.
I love the name of Wit or Without.
There you go. There's the pale ale.
For anyone who may not have listened to the first episode at St. Ben way back when.
Well, why not?
Well, you should go back and listen to it. But Wit or Without is you order a cheesesteak. It's either Wit or Without for onions.
That's
it's always
true.
Wit. It's always Whiz Wit, by the way.
Yeah, I just ordered the cheese fries because I don't eat meat, but
At least you get the cheese.
There's
You're fine.
two
You're fine.
vegetarians at the table.
Hey, it's all right.
How about that?
You're both allowed to be wrong. It's okay. I don't mean that. I respect your
We'll
decisions.
save the planet. You'll kill it.
So next up is a
I'll let the planet kill me.
barrel-aged imperial stout, right? That's what it looks
Well,
like.
you never know. They do have the crazy coffee
That's
beer.
true. That's true.
The Junto, as it were.
Yeah, right.
So this is actually
The Centennial.
I'm getting a lot of like candied lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I always think Centennial
Lemon
hops taste
candy.
like Pez candy.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know what
Pez,
I don't know
I
what
could
the
totally see
flavor
that.
of Pez is.
It is,
but the
it's-
aroma.
Does anyone really know?
No,
Yeah, it's
probably.
What time it
Pez
is?
flavored.
That's an
Anybody
old school
Does anyone
candy.
really care?
The flavor's probably lead. you
It's
know?
probably lead. You're absolutely right. But it doesn't have that like chalkiness like you get with like some like sour beers. You get like that Smarty kind of character.
Yeah.
This is like a citrusy. I imagine like a lemon hard candy.
Yeah, that's what I was
almost.
thinking too. One of those ones
Yeah.
you would suck on like you'd steal
Yeah.
from your grandmother's purse.
Exactly.
Well, I look forward to the Dad's Hat collaboration that St. Ben
Yeah,
has
that
going
sounds
on.
awesome.
Yeah, we're psyched about it.
You're not leaving this table without my phone number, and I promise that you're going to call me when it's ready. FYI.
I might text you. Is that okay?
I mean, that's
is that
fine.
insulting?
No, that's the equivalent of calling.
You can
in
also write it on
2017.
the men's bathroom wall.
Oh,
Don't
that's
do that.
a great point.
I will give you. How about text our Beer Busters phone number?
Oh man!
Oh wow!
We've really gone from like a close connection to just.
Have
I could
your
be
people
calling
call
anyway.
my people.
Call our call center in India.
Call our call center in
Beer
India.
Busters, how may I help you?
So instead of like for a good time call on the bathroom wall to say for a barrel aged beer call.
That would work so well.
Oh man!
Too many people to call, especially if you
Yeah.
write it on the wall here.
But yeah, thanks so much for bringing up a
Yeah,
Gruit,
man.
which is pretty unique.
What
was that?
Oh, because he called the Wit or Without.
Yeah.
apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah.
It comes in threes. I'm done now.
All right, thank God.
And seriously, every beer I've had from St. Ben, just through the roof.
We love
I
it
mean,
there.
you guys are doing a great thing.
Great,
it's an
thank
awesome spot that I love going to, and just keep up the good work, man.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
keep being awesome. Everyone there is awesome. We love you guys.
Try. I'm giving a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I always forget this is not on video.
That's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't translate
all
to
right.
audio. You can hear a thumbs up in the voice, though. Kind of like you can hear a smile,
Yes.
you know?
We need an onomatopoeia for a thumbs up, too.
Joing!
That sounded like a boner.
Similar but distinct.
Yeah, we're
Butters
drunk.
boiling.
We're getting drunk.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Oh,
well,
my God.
Thanks,
try to
Andrew.
take it easy for the rest of the day. It's,
Yeah,
it's
man.
going to be a long one.
Oh,
It
it
definitely
definitely will.
is.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know if this is going to be weird to say this because we're all family on this side of the table. But let's get naked.
Giggity gig.
It's been a while since I could say that. It's been a long time
Yeah, it
Way
has.
since
too
we've
long.
been to Naked, and
I apologize.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry for that.
okay.
I need to get back there, obviously. And Naked Brewing goes down as the only place that's ever had a drum set I could play after I was already drunk from
That's
recording. And
Oh, I forgot about
we'll
that.
always
Yeah.
hold a special place in my heart. There was a guitar.
No,
you
no,
played guitar.
no. The best part about recording there was the
The
photo
picture?
shoot
Yeah.
afterwards.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
That was amazing.
That's still my favorite photo at a brewery ever.
Great beers
Really good.
with great people, and we're happy to have Jim back up here. Jim, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's exciting. It's been a crazy year. Lots happened. You know, we keep expanding,
Which is great.
It is, yeah. Brought in a new brewer recently, Dave. He's kicking ass. I love him. I like to thank the Chamonix Creek and Free Will. He came from both of those places first, so we benefit from his knowledge from both of those, and it's just so nice to have somebody making some solid stuff too. And said, I like to take credit for the two beers that we have here, but honestly, Nick, who has moved on to Philadelphia Distillery, he came up with the initial Missionary Impossible that we have, and Dave has tweaked that, and the porter is all Dave's. And like I said, it's the funny thing about starting a brewery and letting it grow is kind of like letting your kids go off to school and all. It's just, you got to step away and let it grow. And I'm looking forward to when I retire and from the Fitters in 10 years and having a brew pub and all. But
You are 75 now.
I
so
am
it's
75, so I
probably
got 85. I'm
about
looking
time.
forward to it.
when your beard is translucent.
Yes,
about
yes.
time.
5 years before I pass away. So no, but it's it's awesome to be part of this
End of the
community,
road.
and it's so funny to talk to Jeremy and then the guys and all from Round Guys and Free Will and all, and just think back
Totally.
5.5 years ago when we started. It was like, holy shit, we're still doing this and
Yeah.
growing,
It's
and it's
still
crazy.
happening.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is so true. There was a core group of Philadelphia area breweries that opened right around when you
Yeah,
guys did.
it was us and the Chamonix, Round Guys, Free Will, Forest and Maine.
Yeah.
So do you guys have like
Right.
little
We do
get-togethers?
Yeah, we do. We get Manny
You're in a
Petties.
club?
Yeah, we try every 6 months. We go do that, because we're dudes, and we don't
you
do it every
gotta-
month. So yeah,
Yeah.
No, we trying to, and it's funny. Like as we've kind of grown, and you look at your, because in the end it's a business. And
Yeah.
it's funny to take it from home brewing to Brian and I brewing in the garage to, like I said, this thing grows beyond expectations, and you bring a family and you build a group around you that shares your same naked mindedness, and it's I'm constantly overwhelmed by not only the customers and people who want to come in and have our beers and enjoy our space and what we do, but the people who want to be part of our family. It's just it's an incredible sense of pride for me. It really is. And like I said, it comes
Good.
through in the beer, and it's one of the things I love so much about being able to do this. So but thank you guys for giving us a voice for it.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. Point of order. The episode at Naked Brewing, episode 38.
Oh my God.
38.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of that.
90 episodes ago.
This is
It's
120.
outrageous that you haven't gotten naked in 90 episodes.
I know, right?
It's been
Well,
too long.
September
To be-
2014.
I will make sure we have the drum kit, the guitar, and the Jello.
Yes. To be
Drum
fair,
kit, guitar, Jello.
I have
Yes.
gotten naked since then, just not at a brewery.
Okay. Well, we'll have to remedy that situation. We have larger fermenters you can now get naked into, so it's also
I've
good.
got pretty large fermenters. Just saying.
That's all the background. It's constantly playing.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
bathroom usually.
Wow.
It's just uncomfortable enough.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
That's right. That's right. So it's been forever. What's new in the world of Naked? What's new in the world of nudity?
What's new? Let's see.
Well, there's a mole that I didn't have before.
Yeah. They tell you to check that out. Only check it out if it changes shape, apparently.
Right,
it gets darker.
Yeah.
So,
or if it moves.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that third nipple popped up. You know what I mean? I just figured it's from the water, but you never know.
You never know.
Apparently, the Chamonix brews with it, so we're fine. So,
Are we though? Are we?
Are we? It's always a question.
We're good.
Let's see. In the past year, lots changed. I put a new system in. We have a 7-barrel steam brew house, 4 15-barrel fermenters, 15-barrel bright. Increased our souring production and cellaring. We're looking at doing some canning, hopefully in the near future. Basically rebuilt the entire production crew, so we got a full-time head brewer now. Again, the other guys have moved on, which I'm happy that they've done that. Everybody's got to expand. Sales crew, front of house stuff, just constantly trying to grow. We've always grown at a slower rate that Free Will and the Chamonix was kind of designed that way.
Right.
But we're reaching a point where you know what? It's time to build it up a little bit. We're looking at some other locations and stuff.
Oh, cool.
The beers have. It's always been about the beer. I think everybody kind of says that. It's always been about fun stuff. Everything's very accessible. Creating beers that people want to try, want to keep coming back to. A nice, relaxed location, and we just keep making them better and keep playing with them. It's our playground. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
So we're definitely got to have a fun little system that we mess with our beers with, usually on a weekly basis, and just keep coming up with different stuff.
Sweet. Yeah. Speaking of beer.
Yeah, speaking of beer.
This is freaking good.
This is a Kolsch, right?
Yeah,
That is a Kolsch. It's a black session Kolsch.
It's a black section Kolsch.
Yes, yeah.
No,
it's
knock
from
it
the
off.
other side of the tracks. So yeah, that is our Naked Porter. It's actually the first time I've had that carbonated was today.
Oh wow!
So, like I said, Dave's like, hey, can I make a porter? I'm like, please do. So we give him free reign for a lot of things, and it's a nice sessionable. It's 4.5%. It's all that nice roastedness. A lot of espresso, some dark baker's chocolate kind of on there.
Yeah.
Real easy drinking.
I love that it's 4.5%.
Me too.
You don't really get that a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm all about. We've always been about the sessions at Naked.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not that big a guy. I like to drink, as much as possible. So, I keep the low ABVs. Our point has always been, if I can get what I want across in a beer at the lower ABV, I can do that.
Thank you.
Can I make the Can the Missionary be 9%? Sure, it can. But let's make it
why not?
6.5 if we can.
I've noticed for me, I'm one extreme or the other. I really love low ABV beers, or of course, extremely high ABV beers.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, there's a time and a place for everything.
Like get out of here with your 7%. I'm kidding. Like I'm sipping on Zeke the whole time at 7.6.
Dude, how awesome is that?
Oh my
It's
god!
Oh, Zeke's amazing.
First off, it's Zeke, and he's on a label,
And it's
on
awesome.
a can,
He's
and it's Zeke.
shooting rocket
thing's-
launcher
It's the
beer
most
bottles.
badass thing ever.
I love him. Yeah, that
Incredible.
can
I
should
want-
give you a hug, though.
I know, right? Or
Definitely.
shoot you in the face.
Definitely.
Okay, I have to tell you,
Yes.
my absolute favorite porter on the face of the earth is Penn Quarter Porter from DC Brow, and
Okay.
this totally
Gives it a run
reminds
for
me
its
of
money?
that. Yes,
Yeah.
this is. Are you going to can this?
We'll see.
I want
should.
this
You
in
know
a
what? Based
fucking
on,
can.
based on that recommendation, I think we will.
We will.
This is
Now we are.
really freaking good.
Thank you.
It is delicious.
It
Not
is.
bad. Like I said, it's the first time it's been brewed. I had it
Yeah.
in fermentation this past week, and then the first time I had it carbonated was, like I said, literally when we tapped it today. So
Yeah. This would
It's
also
so
make
easy drinking. It's
Thank
so roasty. It's so
it reminds me of our
comforting.
Carpe Noctem a little bit,
Yeah.
which is the 3.9 session black that we did. But it's a little crisper, a little cleaner.
So
yeah.
good.
this would make a great base beer to do other shit with too, like a coffee infusion, like some peanut butter, maybe like some fruit,
Or an imperial version
Yes.
of it for Dan.
a barrel aged. Yeah,
No,
you could do a lot with this.
I
It's-
agree.
it's-
And that's
it's
another
really-
thing we do a lot of is really good, solid base beers
Yeah.
that we can build on. So our cream ale has been, our Buck Naked's been huge for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our wheat, obviously, too. Stouts. So, yeah, this is another one to put in the repertoire, and you go pull it out and play with it. So,
Yeah.
Totally.
Pull one
Pull
out
it out and play with
That's
it.
what we say. That's our.
Hashtag naked sessions.
That's it.
Oh my
So
good Lord.
there's more beer here.
God. Speaking of getting naked.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
What's the other beer? What's the other beer that's
This
gonna make
is,
me lose my pants?
So this is our Missionary Impossible.
oh, all right.
It's part of our Kama Sutra series. The basic style, the missionary. So this has been tweaked and upgraded. It's got mosaic. It's got what else got? Mosaic, Nugget, Amarillo. It's everything I love about IPAs. It's insanely cloudy. At the same time, it's got a nice bite to it. You get a little bit of piney resinous. You got a little bit of dankness, and then you got some citra on the back side of it and all. And it's not killer on the bitter back end. Again, you can move from this beer to another IPA or something a little lighter and more sessionable. Yeah. Part of our idea, same idea. So if you want to have, move among your beer.
Yes.
I don't want to palate
your
kill.
beer.
Again, it's I love it. It's spectacular. A 6.5 too. It's not ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dangerous enough to get me in trouble.
Just enough. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Exactly.
It's really good. It drinks really easy, which I like, but still has that great hop character to it.
I agree. Yeah.
It's like a bold hoppiness out of it that watches away nice and easy.
Wow.
That's right.
Okay.
Very good. I'll accept that. Can I
All
quote
right.
you on that?
Sure.
That sounds like
Thank you very
ad
much.
copy.
It does.
A bold hoppiness.
Man.
That washes away.
It's like I should work in marketing or something.
And we also make beer.
If you guys need a social media manager or a marketing director, just let me know.
I'm always we're always looking for interested parties.
Do you think I'm kidding? That's the wonderful part to that.
I never think anybody's kidding. That's
Pull it out and play with it.
That's it. Pull it out and play with it.
On that note,
I got to put that on a label.
That should be your fucking motto, man.
Exactly,
Pull it
yeah.
out and play with it.
Instead of nothing to hide, that's what we shifted. That's this year's.
Oh, really?
motto.
I like that, too.
Nothing to hide. It's better than Got Naked lately.
Yeah,
we figured it was
nothing to
time
hide.
we figured we hit the 5-year mark and it was time to grow up a little bit and be a little bit more
I like
professional.
that.
So we decided to shift our motto to that.
Nothing to hide.
So
That's
nothing
good.
to hide is, again, it goes with our lack of ego about who we are, about our beers.
You know what? That sounds like the sort of thing that a large corporation would have spent millions in dollars focus grouping and coming up with.
Yeah, us.
You just thought like,
about
hey,
100 hours worth of beer, and
that's a good idea.
Yeah. some other things to enjoy, and a couple
definitely.
gummies, and you're good to go. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
That's how we do our best marketing.
Oh, of course.
oh my gosh. On that
I'm allowed
note.
to say that on this, right?
Oh, you say whatever you
You
want.
say whatever you want.
It's the internet. Nobody cares.
That is also true.
Everyone cares. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's
Everyone cares and no one cares.
All right,
All at
We
the
just
same time.
offended 110% of the population.
Yeah,
That offended me.
That's
Exactly,
what we do.
yeah.
That's what we do.
That is.
I'm probably gonna have to run to the bathroom before our next interview.
Me
Just
too.
warning you guys.
Me too.
So that means get Jim off the goddamn
No,
microphone.
no,
So
no.
I
Nobody's
feel-
even interested. One person's talking to me. He's got to go to the bathroom, and she's busy on
I'm
her phone.
trying to find the porter on fucking
Yes,
Untapped.
so was I, but
We
I
just-
waited for you to.
It's not on there.
Yeah.
I told you
Steph,
we
get
just.
to add
So I
it.
need
It
to
doesn't
add it.
exist.
You gotta add it.
Yes.
There you go. Steph gets to add something to Untapped today. Well, Jim, thank you, man.
Yeah,
for
no
coming back
problem.
up here.
Thank you,
And
guys.
It's a travesty that it's been so long to reconnect with
Yeah.
you
It's
guys
okay.
over Naked. We need to get back up there
Yeah, we
recording
gotta
the
go
back.
podcast.
We
for
gotta
sure.
go back.
Our people contact your people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We have a phone number now.
You do?
We do.
805-991
We have a phone, but nobody answers it.
No,
so
no.
that's
Well, it's
it.
okay. Ours goes straight to voicemail. It's a do not
Perfect.
disturb.
And I have no business card, so it works out perfectly.
Hey, even
all right.
better. This is great.
Awesome.
As Steph hands
Cool.
you hers.
Awesome. Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
Jim,
I appreciate
thanks
it.
so much,
Yep.
man.
Take
Cheers.
care, man.
Jim.
Cheers. Yep.
So the other cool thing about beer fests like this is we get to meet new friends from breweries who are old friends, including Mike from Broken Goblet. Mike, how are you, man?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you for having
Great.
me.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here, man. So we were talking to you briefly before we started recording, and when the fest started. When we were at Broken Goblet, you were in Florida. I think
was
you said,
away.
right?
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm glad we finally get to meet you now. That was my first time at Broken Goblet. Was when we were there.
That was actually my first time as well.
And
yeah.
It was my not first time.
Yeah.
Right. I was telling somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, who some Philly publication did this thing on like 100 breweries you have to go to in 100 miles of Philadelphia, and Broken Goblet made the list, of course. Let's face it, anyone who's geographically within 100 miles
Sure,
probably made the
yeah.
place. But I very distinctly remember there was a beer that was made with, I think it was Earl Grey tea leaves.
So it wasn't Earl Grey, but
Was
but it was tea. You're
It was
right.
tea?
You're-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I somewhat distinctly remember a beer made with tea leaves.
Yep.
Guess what's in your glass?
Is it that one?
A beer made with tea leaves.
Oh, no.
Well, you guys do. It was like a series.
So we
of tea infused.
as the story goes, is that the head brewer, his wife was not a beer drinker,
Right.
And so before we were ever even anything more than a beer club, she had said to him one morning as she was drinking a glass of Tivana tea.
I love this story.
She said, he was like, I'm going to brew whatever. I'm going to brew a wheat beer. And she's like, I don't like your beers. I don't like any beers. Why are you getting into this business? And he said, well, what would it take for you to drink our beers? And she pushed the tea. This is a very true story. Sounds very cliche. She pushed the glass over to him and said, make a beer taste like this, and I would drink it. So he said, kind of challenge accepted, but not quite that way. And 2 years later, he perfected this way to make a beer out of whole leaf tea.
Wow.
So we've stayed away from the Earl Greys and sort of the black teas. We did a lot of green tea, but it had to have a lot of fruit in it.
Of course.
So the beer that you're currently drinking actually has no actual tea in it. It's all sort of dried fruit. Right. But we've done chai tea beers, green tea beers, and we always wanted to have a fruit element because when it's just that astringent black or Earl Grey type of tea, it tastes weird, and we wanted to have the fruit at the front and then the astringency at the back. So, and to make sort of the happy ending is that now she loves all of the beers that we do. So it was a gateway for her, and it's become a gateway for a lot of other people.
Well, okay, I just gave it to Rich.
Oh yeah,
so Rich,
because Rich does not drink beer, but he loves tea.
Hey, whoa,
he likes it.
That's a thumbs up. You cannot see this, but he's thumbing up.
Emphatic thumbs
up.
He
just hugged me.
What was the sound for thumbs up?
Swing. No, that wasn't it.
There you go. That's the true test right there.
Good.
Yes.
So I know one of the things I'd like to ask, everybody who we talked to from breweries we've been in before was obviously what's new, but obviously there's something huge in the world of Broken Goblin.
Yes, sir.
So what is new in the world of Broken Goblin?
So it's been a badly kept secret, but we're moving to a new facility. We just announced it about 2 weeks ago. We have signed the lease and closed on the loan to move our facility out of Bristol, sadly, and into Bensalem, but not very far from where we're sitting currently, and not very far from where our current location is. A much bigger location that allows us to realize our dream of putting a music venue connected to a brewery into Bucks County, which is what we're going to do.
That's
and
amazing.
I saw the artist rendering,
Sure,
I guess, as it were. It looks pretty freaking amazing.
It's definitely cool. That rendering is a little bit. When it came back to us, I was like, boy, those are small tables, and the place looks cavernous, but it's not as big as is represented there. But it's going to be a big spot.
Nice.
2 levels. We really want to do private parties because we've not been able to do private parties unless they were small and manageable, and we turn a lot of parties down. So the goal is, as a brewery that was opened by musicians, to have a place where we can bring in some bigger bands and do 300 cap room type of shows and still function as a craft brewery. And then also, Bucks County is a spot that I think needs a place for people to go to listen to music. I don't think everybody's got music. I don't mean to disparage anybody, but there's not been a venue in Bucks County in a long time.
Right.
What we really always wanted to do that, and we even have the ability to do all ages shows because of how it's set up. So now we're going to try to give a place for kids to go. I'd like to think nobly that we're going to address some of the drug problem that's going around, but it would give kids a safe place to go where their parents can come and their parents won't feel weird and they won't feel weird.
Their parents can drink beer.
Absolutely, and see a cool show, and we can also bring in bands we've not been able to bring in because of the size of our current spot.
That's
cool. So we're excited about it, and we're going to open March 2018.
That's cool.
That's super soon.
Is our goal? Yeah, we broke ground, and it's happening. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
So I remember when we were there, you guys have a stage set up, but it was kind of small and like put off in the corner. But so obviously it's something you guys have been trying to do from the beginning.
It is. I mean, the first part of the business loan was this large chunk of the money for stage and sound.
Right. Yeah.
And the bank was like, "What do you do?" We had to literally explain to them what we were trying to do. They're like, $90,000 for sound. What are you doing? But we're like, we're putting in a legit.
We're doing it right.
We're trying to. So we're excited about that.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So what I'm hearing is, Steph, we have our first March of 2018 recording on the books now, right?
Yep. I'm currently booking January, so
we'd love to have you guys.
I'll have to reach out again.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, at the current and what will be old location.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to hear that you guys have that planned. And as somebody who loves beer and music, I think that's the right way to go. That's
I think
amazing.
it's perfect for this area too. I think,
of course,
not only is there an appreciation for great beer in especially southeastern Pennsylvania, but I think there's an appreciation for a lot of really great and especially local bands. And there's so many breweries that are doing collaborations, like Neshaminy Creek, obviously. South County has done so many collaborations with bands, and it just seems like the perfect missing piece to the Philly Burbs. I think it'll be quite successful.
It'll complement the area nicely because Jeremy and Neshaminy Creek obviously have an appreciation for music. He comes from a music background. Mm-hmm. We do too, so we have grand aspirations for sort of collaborative days of shows that are at both venues. And
that's cool,
we're going to be a straight shot down state road, so it geographically will be nice. And what we're hoping to do is to turn this area into how Fishtown and Northern Liberties has sort of become where local musicians and local bands are thriving. We want to bring up the scene here because we have bands at our spot that are they are mind-blowingly good.
Totally.
And we want to push them out, and at the same time we want to get people from Philly and around to come down and be like, this is a cool spot to play.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to play in Philly. I want to play in Bucks County.
Yeah.
Free parking. Maybe no bridge toll, safer. There's a lot of benefits.
Toll.
Yeah. So that's our hope.
That's a great idea.
So I want to. The other thing that I remember from when we were at Broken Goblet over a year ago now, how time flies. There was a rivalry between the Halloween.
Oh, that's
and the
right.
Christmas decorating. Is that still going on? Because we're between those two holidays right now.
Last year was a kind of we made a very, very dramatic joke for one of our owners, but this year is not quite that extreme. We're not. I mean, last year, the day after Halloween, we had people come in and totally transform it into Christmas.
Yeah.
We had to then explain to people for the entire month of November why we were like Walmarting our spot and turning it into like. Can I curse on this, by the way?
Oh, totally.
Because I've been trying to censor myself. So we wanted to make sure that people understood why we turned it into a Christmas wonderland. But it was more just for the one moment that we filmed on our security cameras of the guy walking in. But the funny part is that we do love Halloween, and we built this precedent with Hoppy Halloween, our beer fest, which you didn't do this year because of the move. But I'm the Captain Christmas at our spot.
Right.
So it's fun for me because it annoys everybody else, and so I like to be the thorn in everybody's side. But I don't know. I get happier at Christmas time. I personally am a better person around the holidays for whatever reason. And so I like to
the reason's
decorate.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the reason for the season.
Of course he is, but
Christ brings out the best in everyone.
The best.
Freudian
that
slip,
was a
maybe?
weird slip right there. Yeah.
So is your house decorated already for
No.
Christmas?
No. I do that tomorrow. I usually.
It's November, man.
I decorate after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I respect that.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Yes, but I may or may not leave it up through January. So just
in September, I went to IKEA just to get some stuff. They had fucking Christmas decorations up already.
Yeah, and you can buy it there, right? This is our Slarg ornament. This is our Schlurg tree, and all. Yeah, I'm okay with that though.
Our Flarfennugan tree.
Yeah, exactly. And have some meatballs. I mean, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
May or may not include
What
horse.
goes better with clapboard furniture than meatballs and lingonberries?
They should do reindeer meatballs for Christmas.
They have vegan meatballs,
They have vegan
too.
meatballs?
That's what they
Wow.
want you to think.
Are they made from real vegans?
Yes. Now, speaking of, we have another beer.
Speaking of made from vegans.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is an IPA that we've done kind of West Coast style. We were not an IPA house and continue to not be an IPA house, but you can't function as a brewery right now in the U.S. and certainly not on the East Coast unless you have some solid IPAs. We really try to cohabitate the area with Neshaminy Creek.
Right.
So when we first opened, we actually met with them to isolate what styles that they were going to do and what they were coming out with and what we were planning to do. And certainly with the tea beers and that stuff, they're not doing that.
Right.
But at the time, we said we're going to make an English IPA because Neshaminy makes such amazing every other kind of IPA, but they didn't really have an English style one. So we started with that, and then we worked on this recipe for a while, and we're going to slowly roll out more IPAs. But this is just a standard, overly bitter but nice floral, not too hazy IPA.
Very nice.
And it's Tool themed, so again, the music.
It's
a big thing for us. So
what was the name of it?
It's called Gyroscopes and Infrared, which is a sort of a call to their Rosetta Stone song. And that's with the artwork and everything with the aliens.
Did we mention the name of the other beer? The Bubba's
Tea Bag.
Bubba's Tea Bag.
That's it. Yes. All right. I just want to get that out there.
Yeah.
Bubba's Tea Bag.
It's a very family friendly name.
I went to hang out at Bubba's Tea Bag.
Yeah.
Pull it out and play with it.
Yep.
# naked sessions.
Maybe we should do a Broken Goblet and Naked co-podcast.
I'm not sure if this is the right culture to do it in 2017.
You know what we could call it?
Yeah.
We could call it Naked Goblet.
Yeah, or Broken Naked.
Broken Naked. Naked and Broken.
Yeah.
Naked and Broken.
Naked and Broken.
It's funny, we have all these
That's
great
how I-
ideas of collaborations with other breweries, but it's just so hard to get together with them.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that with Naked for a while.
Really?
A couple of our friends over in Jersey that have breweries, we've been talking about doing a East Coast, West Coast of the river, sort of like this hip hop
that's
theme.
cool, yeah.
But
That's
we
cool.
can't get it. We can't find the time to actually do it. So,
I mean, everybody's so busy.
Yep,
I mean,
which is a great thing.
yeah.
This is a great thing.
It's a good
for
problem
sure.
to have.
Yeah.
So I do like this IPA a lot.
I gotta say, like, it feels like a year ago, everybody was making West Coast IPAs, and now they're like an endangered fucking species because everybody wants to make these New England IPAs. So it's almost refreshing to be drinking a West Coast style IPA.
And you know the trends. You guys probably know better than actually we do because you talk to so many breweries and you're sort of in the mix. But we, like the trends are shifting, but the meta is still IPAs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In some way, shape,
sure.
or form.
Yeah.
And so
I'm trying to change it so it's Pilsner.
you know what?
I'm trying to single-handedly get rid of IPAs and make everyone brew Pilsners.
I would be so behind that. That's all we talk about is when we get our real big boy equipment to be able to make
Big boy equipment.
some pilsners, some
Yeah.
lagers.
Yeah.
Like I would like a Keller beer more than anything
Oh yeah.
right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, that'd be
definitely.
nice.
Yeah.
Something really simple and clean, but it's just
And you know what?
it's
Those
hard.
like, I feel like those kind of beers would be perfect at a music centric venue.
Yeah, they
like
would.
that's what you would drink.
Yeah.
Easy drinking, nice, refreshing beer that tastes like beer.
Yeah, you go
know?
to the Electric Factory right now. People are not pounding 8% beers.
No.
They're drinking their sessionable beers.
Yeah.
When they're not drinking the domestics, they're drinking sessionable crafts.
Yeah.
You know, the Prima Pills and Hellas
Absolutely.
Lager and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
So we would like to be able to mirror that when we open in
Yeah.
the new spot, but then sort of turn people's attention to some different stuff as well.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
sort of like you like this one, you might like that one.
Yeah, give this a try.
A little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. But I agree with you. People don't need to be energized for 4 hours while they're drinking an 8% beer. 'cause
Exactly.
It never ends well.
No, it does not.
I'm a metalhead. It never, ever ends well. Ever, ever, ever.
Or do a podcast for 4 hours drinking
Yeah,
8%
oh,
beers.
yeah.
Been there, done that.
So who's
is
next?
so
Who's
true.
the next brewery?
So next we have Vaults.
I love
right.
Vault. Love Vault.
And I think after that, we're going to shut down and actually enjoy the festival.
we're going to be civilians.
Yeah, which we don't get to do very often.
That
So
is
we
true.
try to schedule some, because every time we try to give ourselves some time at an event
Sure.
to just hang out,
Yeah.
we end up going long with the podcast and we pack up and we're like, shit, the event's over. But this is a pretty long event, so we're going to have some
Yeah.
time to chill.
Yeah, or we're going to be drunk. So
Well, I appreciate you
one
guys
or the
giving
other.
me time.
yeah,
And,
Mike, it was
Oh,
awesome
yeah,
to
definitely.
finally meet you.
Yes, yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
We sort of
Sway-
talked about you on the show, but
Stwaden.
Sweden.
Sweden.
That's our
And
name.
Rich, the
And
non-beer
Rich.
Oh,
drinker.
you remember Rich's name? Everyone remembers Rich.
So the fun fact is, for anybody who didn't notice that, since there are three of us and obviously one of Mike, we had to write down our names on the tablecloth
Just in case.
that we take to
Yes.
every recording.
Yes.
And we made a.
But he wrote "stu way down."
Yeah, I just wanted to try to.
I'm just.
I like
stuck.
that my name is the only one that was written in full.
It's
That's-
3 letters.
well,
It's
your
pretty
name
It's
is
3
Daniel.
letters, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to leave "wa" and then I put the "y" there just to make sure I wasn't.
like
I didn't
you're
go a
giving-
different direction.
equal
Yes.
time, equal coverage.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
because otherwise your name could be like Ward.
It's
Yeah,
fair and
or
balanced.
Walter.
Walter, yeah.
Or
Like when-
Wade, which would
Wade.
mean Wayne anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you abbreviate the months, nobody abbreviates May.
Which is the best goddamn month of the year.
It's the Mary
3-letter
month.
name, 3-letter month.
And
Boom.
birthday.
For anyone who doesn't know, my
Yeah.
birthday's in May.
It's gonna be
May 24th, you can send gifts to.
Okay. So, Mike, it was nice having you on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Have fun.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Mike.
Thank you so much.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
This episode is brought to you in part by Tavour, a must-have app for any craft beer lover. Tavour gives you access to beers you can't find in your area. When you sign up, you'll get access to 2 rare beers every day. You claim the beers you want, skip the ones you don't, and Tavour will ship them right to your door for a flat shipping fee of $14.90, no matter how much you buy. They try thousands of beers from small craft breweries and bring you the gems that you can't get at the store. Tavour's relationship with these award-winning craft brewers gives their members access to beers that cannot be found anywhere else. And right now, Tavour is offering a special deal for Beer Busters listeners. Head over to Tavour.com and enter the promo code BeerBusters, all one word, when you sign up and get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's Tavour.com, Tavour.com. Enter the code BeerBusters, get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. Discover, curate, and collect rare beers from the best craft brewers with Tavour.
So back to the whole new friends thing. Now this
Back to the hole.
new friends thing.
Is that the name of this episode?
Back to the hole.
Back to the hole.
Back to the hole. Back to the future.
I meant new friends, but sure, Back to the Hole works.
Sure.
too.
A brewery I've heard a lot of things about. Admittedly, I have not been there yet, and
You should. It's
I know.
awesome.
I'm ashamed to say that. I don't get out much. It's basically wake up, make coffee, go to work, come home, drink beer, and go to bed kind of deal. But
Or whiskey.
only because I was out of beer last night.
There were 2 empty bottles of whiskey
Which
in the kitchen today.
Looks really bad.
And I was
but
like-
I had 1 glass of whiskey left in each of those.
Dan had a long night.
It looks really bad.
Wow.
But we have joining us from Vault Brewing. We've got Kyler. Kyler, how are you, man?
I'm good, thanks. Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming
Thanks
up to the
for
table.
coming
We're
up,
happy to have you, man. This is
Cool.
awesome. And I've heard nothing but good things, mostly through Steph, to be honest, because she actually gets out and travels and experiences the world, and I don't.
That's true.
But I've heard a lot of good things about Vault, and it's upsetting that it took this long to get someone from Vault on our show. But I'm happy that we could finally make it happen.
Yeah, me too.
So, what do you think of the event so far?
I like it a lot. This is my second year. I enjoyed the Van Halen cover band last year a bit more than this year's act.
It's a Van Halen band. That's
Nice.
awesome.
This year's is fine, but all the breweries are great. The cars are awesome as well. I look forward to getting back out there.
Yeah.
There's this red Corvette out there with this dragon paint job.
I saw that. Yeah, that was cool.
My
Isn't that
goodness.
cool?
And just the condition on all of that. So the cars here are great. It's cool just wandering around the brewery as well.
Yeah.
I love the scattered in a good way feel that the brewery is.
Yeah.
There's tanks
Yeah,
just
for
all
sure.
over. Brights over here. It's a cool spot.
Are you a car connoisseur, or you
No,
at least have
not
an
really.
appreciation for it?
I have an appreciation. I think they look
Yeah.
really cool. And I like something else going on at a beer fest as
Yeah,
well.
that's cool.
Yeah,
I was saying to Rich, who is our sort of fourth partner of the show, and Dee Dee and everything, and I don't really know much about cars, but you don't watch Top Gear and laugh at those guys for being as dumb as they are and as funny as they are without picking up a thing or two about them. So I certainly have appreciation for the cars that are back there.
Definitely.
And of course, obviously, I love beer. So Vault Brewing, been around.
Indeed. We've been
2012,
just celebrated 5 years in
Congratulations.
in October. Thank you.
That's a mark that a lot of breweries don't get to.
Sure. Yeah, we're excited to be at 5, and we're just about 1 year at our production brewery, which is also
cool.
in Yardley as well.
Cool.
So we've got
That's been a year already?
Yeah, I think our
Holy
first brew was
mackerel.
around Thanksgiving of 2016.
That's crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Vault, you guys, there was
Why are you looking at me?
because
You'd be the one to correct it.
because you're the smart one. But your location was like an old bank. Like there was an actual vault
Correct.
involved.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It is. We're on Main Street in an old bank. It's Yardley National Bank. It's always been a bank. The building has always had banks in it up until Vault opened up in 2012. Up until then, it was Bank of America. I want to say they closed in 2008, perhaps.
Okay.
But there's 2 vaults in the brewery. We converted one of them into a walk-in cooler, and the other is like a wine rack, kind of small cellar. So the vault is still there. It's decommissioned, but the door is 8,000 pounds. The big vault
Wow.
door.
Oh my God.
Wow. It's got on massive hinges,
Which
but-
is 4 tons if I'm doing the math right.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Hashtag math.
That's a
Hashtag Matt.
big fucking door. So
Mm-hmm.
I assume that the name of the brewery came after the location.
Indeed.
Obviously,
Yeah, it did. Yep.
That's interesting. Like,
So-
to take that sort of
Yeah.
take the idea of the identity, the name of the brand from the
Exactly.
location like that. That's cool.
It's really cool when that kind of stuff happens. Now, have you been there from the beginning?
No, I've been there. I'd say a year and some change, maybe a year and a quarter or so.
Okay.
Yep.
Have you Now, do you brew for Vault?
Yeah, I'm one of the brewers.
So you are one of the
there.
brewers. Okay.
Yeah, as well.
Had you had any? I'm assuming you probably have like home brewing experience
Sure,
before.
yeah.
Or professional
I
brewing? started
home brewing, and then I started growing hops as well.
Oh, cool.
And then I started in 2011 as assistant brewer at Victory in Downingtown, and then went to beer school a little bit in Chicago, and then I brewed a little bit at Stickman Brewing in Royersford.
Oh, we love Stickman.
And then now I'm at Vault.
Cool. So I have to ask, if you have the experience with Stickman, obviously it means you've worked with Ethan, of course.
Look at his face right now, by the way.
How do you feel?
What a character.
How do you feel about IPAs, or specifically Northeastern IPAs?
You know, I really enjoy drinking them. I think they're delicious, and some are spectacular, but I don't find them that sessionable. Like getting through a pint, for sure.
Yeah. It can hurt sometimes.
The second or third, maybe not so much.
Right.
But when I find them sessionable and whatever balance can be found in that beer, when I find it, then I'm hooked and I really like them. I'm always curious. Even like going around today, I saw a lot of Northeast or New England IPAs, whatever they are, and I tried them. I like them, but I don't know. I really respect and admire balance in beers in general,
Yeah.
Of course.
especially in IPAs, and
It's okay to have
and you know what?
malt in
I
your
think it's
IPA.
a really interesting topic as well. Like I look at beer reviews a lot on like Untapped and Beer Advocate and such online. And a lot of our beers at Vault, they talk about, oh, this is a great Northeast IPA, and they're talking about our 5Cs or Vic's Secret Double IPA. And while that's not how we set out to brew them, and nor do I actually think maybe they are, I don't think they are New England IPAs. I think that the association and the idea of what these beers are has taken its own kind of form, and is a little loose and a little fun too, as well. Like, okay, maybe some people think this is a New England IPA. That's not how we think it is, but
Well, it's like the experiment, speaking of Ethan at Stickman, where they were talking about having a day where they would have all their beers on tap. They would call everything on the board an IPA, whether it was or not.
Oh,
just
that's
call it
right.
an IPA, and just be like, yeah, you know, this is a coffee porter, but we're going to call it an IPA. Like,
yeah, I like that there is also some kind of an awareness of like serving a New England IPA. Like I guess Free Will did the hazy with the chance of charcuterie, kind of poking at some kind of snobbery that might surround, I guess, some of that scene or someone that might be ordering that beer. But or there's always, I think, awareness. If you're brewing a New England IPA or calling your beer that, there's sometimes there's a wink.
There is a wink and a nod. There's definitely a wink and a nod.
I love how Ethan always finds a way to get mentioned on our show
I
without
know.
being on the show. God damn you, Ethan.
He's always here in
We
spirit.
love you, but god damn you.
Always here in spirit.
Well,
Speaking of
hold
beers,
on.
Yes.
You
What?
mentioned
Whoa.
cans, and a can that I've coveted for a long time that I've yet to get from Vault is the coffee stout on Nitro. The Nitro
On
can.
Nitro?
The breakfast
The
stout?
Nitro, yes, the breakfast
Okay,
stout. The
cool.
Nitro. Yeah, so I was excited that you had a coffee porter, but when
Right.
is the next time you're releasing that? Because I've
We
still
are,
yet to get one
sure,
of those
we're
cans.
brewing that. We brewed that a week or so ago, and we're brewing it again this week.
Yeah.
So I would say probably the early December. I imagine you would see it in cans.
I need to make it a point to get out there and get the cans.
And we're now our cans are hitting the market as well. We have a few distributors, so we have them at the brew pub, and they'll also be in the city and the suburbs, and coming up New Jersey as well.
Nice. So maybe I won't have to go all the way to the brewery. Although the brewery is worth the trip, I will say.
just for that 8,000-pound door alone.
Check out the
The
Even-
food is
you can
super
take,
good there,
You can take
too.
a tour as well. We'll take you into the vault.
Wow. Do the locks still work?
We decommissioned the vault.
Okay, that's probably
so
a
the
good
locks
idea.
Do not
Yeah.
work, but our logo is it's what's called the ventilator switch. Is inside the vault. I guess back in the day, if you were being robbed, you could lock yourself in the vault, and this ventilator switch you open from the inside
Would give you breathable air.
Yeah, and you could
Oh,
you could
wow.
last it out in there. So now, if that puppy's filled with beer or whatever, you get that switch on, and you probably hold out there for a
That's
while.
so
You'll be there.
cool.
Oh, I'd be
you're
so
set.
happy then.
You're set. Yeah.
That's talk about making the best of a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway, this is the coffee
Coffee
porter that we're
porter.
drinking.
Yes, I
which is
definitely
quite
trust.
delicious.
And this is, what is this called?
This is our coffee porter.
It's called coffee porter.
Nice. I like that. I appreciate
Keeping
that.
it simple. We Vault has a sister company, Pretty Bird Coffee Roasters or Cafe. It's across the street, so they roasted this coffee for. It's our Brazilian and a Sumatra,
Oh, nice.
a blend of those.
Mhm.
And so Yeah, this is a regular coffee that we, a regular porter that we offer, and then we essentially put it through a shorter dry hopping process through one of our dry hopping tanks, but filled it part way with coffee beans, and cycled beer through that for around a day.
It's got, and this might sound weird, but
Probably.
I like it. It's got like a burnt character in the aroma, and not like a bad thing, but it has like a nice,
like a heavily roasted coffee bean.
Like it's sharp,
Sure,
but
perhaps
it's
a
nice,
little
like-
ashy.
Yeah.
And I get a blueberry aftertaste that I'm really enjoying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's
which
some-
is probably from the coffee.
Sweetness at the end, really nice. I love coffee beers.
I'm
This
really
is
happy
so good.
that you had this beer here because on the way up, so Wayne and I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. Of course, obviously needed a coffee because it was, 10 o'clock in the morning. It was early because that's how we live.
10 o'clock is not early.
That's not
Oh
early.
no, it is.
It's all relative.
I inadvertently woke up at 7:30 because I get up at 5 most days.
I'm sorry to hear that, but when I was sipping my coffee on the way up here, I was like, oh man, I really hope somebody has a coffee beer. Cheers to you for bringing this porter.
Cheers. And I think one thing that really stands out in this is the coffee was just so fresh. The roastery is in the same building as the brewery. And
Even better.
so, I mean, it was just direct. Super fresh beans.
Is that what it's officially called? A roastery? Like where they roast coffee?
Or maybe it's just a roaster.
Because that sounds very close to rotisserie.
Yeah, they come to sniff the roaster.
The coffee rotisserie.
God damn it.
You can tell it's getting a little later in
Coffee
the day.
rotisserie. Coffee rotisserie stout.
And there you go.
I like that.
You can
I like
put some
that.
chicken nuggets in it,
Why
and
not?
people will travel from all over
True.
to get it. Just
Yeah,
like
some
the
like
the
fried
beer from
chicken.
Yep.
Maybe some
Exactly.
smoked malt.
Exactly.
Simulate that a bit somehow.
Yeah, there you go.
No, you
want
just
salt.
literally
I don't
need to
know.
put chicken nuggets in it because then people will want it. Because that's how it works, apparently.
Yeah, that is how it works.
So speaking of IPAs,
Yes.
Speaking of,
the next beer is an IPA.
Yes, it is.
So what is this one called?
sure, this is our Philly Armada IPA.
Philly Armada.
We brewed this for Philly Beer Week this year. We kind of had like an open house, invited a bunch of other breweries and brewery reps to hang out as we brewed it. And our approach was that this was going to be a desert island IPA, something that would be just a go-to drink for us. So it's filled with Rockstar hops. It's Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe.
Yeah.
Just kind of obvious choices of knowing that it's going to be dank and, bright hop aroma and flavor on it. And it's 6%. We kind of have been, striving for balance and lower ABV IPAs. So this is our sort of, I guess, most drinkable everyday IPA.
It's really nice. It's citrusy, like mandarin orange. I'm getting a lot of like
Definitely, yeah,
in
a
it.
lot of
It's really
tangerine
nice.
and orange.
Yeah.
This is our second time brewing it. I believe this time we went a little heavier on the Simcoe.
Oh, gotta
Your
love that.
And,
my
That's
favorite
why
hop.
you like it.
It's my favorite
on.
hop.
Yeah.
So is the public able to visit the production brewery, or is it solely production only?
We're working on that. I think we have been offering tours only at the brew pub, and we're now. I think we've maybe offered one tour at the brew pub. At production. That's something down in the works. I think one of the obstacles is we're just trying to figure out how to have beer. We don't have a draft system there, so we could have growlers, or we now have crowlers, something filled, or even maybe going back and forth between the two. But right now, not yet, but soon.
Very cool. We'll have to keep an eye out.
For sure.
And Vault Brewing, of course, is on all the social media networks at Vault
Definitely.
Brewing.
Yeah, got an active gram. We're on Facebook. I assume we tweet. I couldn't. I'm not too actively on the Twitter
we
sphere.
have a Twitter. I don't know.
Maybe we just linked with the Instagram thing and it shares.
That probably,
thing.
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, definitely we've got it. And Pretty Bird as well is on Instagram. So new styles, new events that we're doing, other stuff that we're involved with, we'll post about. Pizza specials every week. We do a T&E, a trial and error beer. So we take one of our beers every Tuesday, either dry hop it differently, add spices, maybe a blend. And so that's every Tuesday, so that'll be on our
awesome.
Instagram. And they're only $3 for a pour.
Even better.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
wow,
And that's oftentimes it's a little bit of a little development phase for a beer later on, how do Amarillo and Centennial hops work with our rye, which we're trying to maybe try something new right now. And
Get
so
a little
we-
feedback. And
Exactly,
a
we
little,
have these cute little cards of that we have at the bar where people write their feedback.
The
and
do you
use
like me?
pencils.
Yes or no circle one.
So honestly, there's a thumbs up, of the sideways, and a down, and
Okay.
some comments don't even address the beer, and those are great as well. Sometimes people just write on them. It's fun.
Love
So
it.
stuff like that we'll post on our gram. I'm trying to collect all the best cards and maybe post those on Instagram, like a little compilation of all the wacky stuff people say. But
that's cool. I like
but yeah,
that.
we're active on all the socials.
Very cool. Well, it's awesome to meet you, Kyler.
Yeah,
Thanks so much
man.
for coming
Having
up.
me. Happy to be
Love
on.
the beer and have fun.
Cheers. Yeah, man.
Cheers.
So we're going back to the new friends, old friend brewery.
Oh my God! Just knock it off.
I had to be careful how I was going to say that. So
Hey, Dan, no one told you life was going to be this way. Your job's a joke. You're broke. Your love life's DOA. Like you're always stuck in second gear. It hasn't been your day, your week, your
This
month.
is what happens when you're on
Or
later.
year.
Even
Your
your year.
I like how the show is deteriorating.
And it's almost like you've been here the whole entire time.
I think John Weibel has filled him in on us already.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
So, the allusion to John Weibel, which means second story.
John
of
Weibel,
course.
man.
And I've got so many questions that could lead to where we're at now
Great.
with second story.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming up here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jason, by the way.
My name's Jason. I'm the head brewer
He
at
is
How the
Second Story.
You can,
brewer.
you
I
can
love
tell
it.
I'm drunk when I forgot to say your name. I'm so sorry, Jason.
Oh, I'm a little tuned up too, so this will be fun.
Like it's written down in my notebook right now, so I have no.
Can I point out the event is not even halfway over yet?
It's
Yeah,
not.
it's early.
So here's the thing I love about Second Story. Everything.
Oh, well,
You know what I
Apparent-
like about it?
Hold on. Apparently, the last time I
I
was
like
on
that
Second
there's-
Story, it was your birthday. So
Yes.
happy birthday.
Oh,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday. I like that there's two stories.
Yeah, no, there is a second story. No, my birthday was 2 weeks ago.
Well, happy belated.
I just turned 46.
Hey!
I was going to say 26.
Thank you. I'm in a lot of pain.
It's okay. I'm
But-
30 and I am too.
But no, coincidentally, our 3rd year anniversary coincides with my birthday, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's very nice.
I started exactly a year ago. My first day was November 1st.
Oh,
and,
wow.
yeah, so our 3rd anniversary was my first almost full year with Second Story.
Perfect.
So it was a pretty rad day. You know, we it's being our 3rd anniversary, we did 3 anniversary beers, and we released them on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday right before. We brought back a double IPA that John Weibel created and really helped me out greatly with and kind of doing our version of it. Not like we changed it, but like our limitations or what we had. I did the best Exaltum I could make. So that's his double IPA. It's his baby.
Yeah.
So we brought back Exaltum on a Wednesday, and then on a Thursday we released a beer called 3 Years Alt to kind of take a nod to our German side of things, because I've made a lot of German beers and I've gotten away with it so far. I have like 6 of them on right now, and could change, but no, we've gotten a lot of those in, so we wanted to represent that. So we made it a beer called 3 Years Alt, which is a Dusseldorf alt beer.
Yeah.
And then for Friday, we released our anniversary triple, which is a Belgian triple.
Very nice.
And then on Saturday, we announced Old City Kolsch as a 3rd flagship for us. So I've been
that's
making
cool.
that for a couple months, and it was just, we take our lineup pretty serious, and as far as like getting one that's going to be a regular rotating, like on all the time. Old City Kolsch became kind of that, and we identify with it. It's so.
So I've got there's a fun fact about a deep cut here.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
You know what's in the infamous growler?
Oh,
What?
that growler?
It was at Sultan.
Oh, that's right.
That was what was
Wow.
in the infamous growler.
What's the infamous growler?
So the first time
we were there, John was super. I mean, John Weibel is a great man.
He is.
Who was very nice, and he hosted us for this wonderful evening of a podcast upstairs, and the food was great, the beer was great, but he sent us home with growlers, or at least some of the growlers made it home. Let's say.
Yeah.
So we were there, we were leaving, hugging, shaking hands and everything, and a former compatriot of ours clinked his growler against mine accidentally, totally an accident, but my growler just exploded everywhere. And it was
Shattered.
all at Sultan.
Friday
that was
night.
on the floor, on
All
a
over the
Friday
floor of
night
the bar.
in Old City.
5 minutes before the tow trucks come to Old City.
Yep.
Oh,
It was at Sultan.
what a loss.
Thanks a lot, John.
Were people
Well, thanks to the good John who
licking
filled the
it out of the
growler and the
drain?
bad John who broke the growler.
Yeah, there were 2 Johns.
Can I
were
hold
two
on?
Johns.
Hold on. Can I just point out this
Yes.
is the 3rd smoked beer we're having on the show
I know,
today.
That's
right?
fun, right?
And I am so fucking happy about it.
You know why? Because we're in Pennsylvania.
That's
we're in
right.
Pennsylvania. How we do.
I love it. This was actually the beer I had on your birthday.
Oh, that's
I
sweet.
did not. The last time I was at Second Story was probably middle of August. I saw a movie at the Ritz and walked over, and I needed a beer at that point.
You need
and
one.
you can only go to Second Story if you're in Old City already
That's
and you
right.
want a beer. Of course.
You must.
Oh, no, you go to Khyber first, and then you go to Second Story.
I've been told Khyber has really great barbecue now.
They do.
They have really great vegan barbecue, too.
Shameless plug for the Khyber. No, I want to talk about Old City is Burning because this beer is dear to me. I used to be lead brewer at Neshaminy here.
Right.
And I worked here for 3 years. I was their second hire as brewer.
How long have you worked at Neshaminy?
3 years. 3 years. No, and these are my friends here, my best friends in the world, and honored to have Jeremy have me back here and do this. Now that I've struck out on my own, been head brewer for a year. Basically, Croydon is Burning was the love child of me and our former quality assurance manager, Eric Walp. We both love smoked beers, and we had an interbrewery homebrew competition, which they still do every year. And the deal was if we won, we get to name our beer and put it on in the tap room, and we were going to do it on the pilot system. And we made this beer, and we won, which is pretty cool. And Jeremy liked it enough where he's like, oh, let's do a 15. Screw it, let's do a 30. So, all of a sudden it's like a real thing. We're going to have labels, we're going to have bottles, we're going to have, it's a brewer's dream come true to be able to have a beer on, So it was a real honor, the way it happened. And fortunately, we sent that beer to GABF last year, 2016, and we got a bronze medal.
Hey! Congrats.
And we, Neshaminy Creek, even though I'm not formally employed by Neshaminy Creek, they're still my family, and I'm always going to be identified with them. So Croydon is Burning got a bronze, and I was really, really happy the legacy lived on and stoked for them. So anyways, so this is Old City is Burning. It is my nod to Croydon is Burning, and I did check with Jeremy on the name. He's cool with it. We thought it was funny.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So it's a cool thing, to be associated and still have fun with these guys. But yeah, so 80% of the grist is smoked malt, which is dried over a beechwood's fire. So naturally that fire is going to impart a smoky character to the malt. So it's definitely got a campfire kind of quality. Some people say, smoked bacon, smoked fish, that kind of thing.
Ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich.
It is. I don't know if
Ham
this
sandwich.
Yeah. I don't know if this makes sense, but like the smoke, like in the aroma, is like lighter rather than darker. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like it does. You're right.
I mean,
the beer has changed a little bit, and what's ironic, what's funny is we both kind of made similar changes to last year's recipe independently. We didn't even talk about anything. I didn't see the score sheets last year. And they did a decoction mash this year, which is pretty cool.
Right.
I'm a little jealous. I wish I could do that.
I wish I could spend more time brewing this.
Yeah. No, but they made it's their beer now, and they won a bronze, and it's rad, But yeah, it's kind of fun being here today and having both to compare. So that's cool.
It's
cool
really
thing.
nice. I like
Thank
it.
you.
It's very good.
Super tasty.
Oh, there's brownies too.
There's brownies?
Oh my god, my wife brought brownies. Holy shit.
What?
She said it's for a pairing for one of
For
them.
the Schwartz. Oh my god. God bless her.
Well, all right. So
let's do it. Let's do
Let's
this.
do it.
Let's have brownies and Schwartz.
All right,
Why
we're
not?
doing brownies.
God, I love brownies.
So there's
Brownies
a
all the
definite
way.
chocolate note to this beer. It's funny. I would call this Schwartz beer on the edge of a Schwartz, which
Okay.
means in German Schwartz beer, the Germans are very restrained. So basically, there's a lot of roast in this, but it should never be burned or harsh or like.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Do we eat the brownie first and then the beer, or the beer and
Listen,
then the brownie?
We've
I
had
know.
Greg Orth on like
I know,
19
and I don't
fucking
remember
times.
what to do first.
You taste the beer
So-
first.
We do the beer, then we
There's-
eat, then we do the beer, right?
All right. So for Jason, who doesn't know, there's a guy in central-ish Pennsylvania, central to eastern Pennsylvania, a company called Craft Tastings.
Yeah.
It's all about beer and food pairings. It's incredible, and it's one of the most eye-opening experiences you've ever had. So I'm going to take a page out of his book. Let's sip the beer, and we're going to talk about the beer.
Okay.
And then we'll have the brownie and the beer together.
Great. Let's do it. Let's do a food pairing. My wife's brownies.
All right. So the beer, I'm going to try the beer right now.
Great.
The beer's really good, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This beer's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you have a swill bucket here?
Yeah.
I'm going to have some Schwartz so I can talk about it with you. If there's
All right.
any left. Is there any?
I believe this.
There's not. Is this? I'm going to steal
That's
some
not
Schwartz.
it. There it is.
That's
Okay.
it. I'm going to steal a little
So,
splash of this.
The brownie on its own, incredible as well.
Wait, I have to drink first.
And now we go for it. So you take the brownie, just let it sit in your mouth, mash it around a little bit, and you have the beer.
All right.
Holy shit, the brownies are good.
Yeah, they are.
I know. My wife's going to outshine me here. The brownies are way better than this beer. I'm kidding. No, I love this beer.
Wow. The brownie,
It does pair quite nicely.
it brings out like a little extra heat in the beer, but it's not in a bad way at all. Oh my
It's
God.
all about the nuts.
All about the nuts.
Always.
So there was a light touch of chocolate malt in this beer. Mostly in the German style, we use Carafa 2, Carafa 3, and those are dehusked malts. So basically, through some process, I hope someone's not hand-picking skins off malts. It'd be a long day.
A shitty job.
I don't know how they do it, but basically the deal is a lot of the astringency of some of these burnt beers comes from the husk. You know, it's like burning burning an ear of corn.
Yeah.
You know, when you get that grassy kind of burnt vegetable thing. So if you strip the husk away, you kind of lose that astringency. So those malts are, by definition, just smoother, a little more... There's not that husk, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool, like in that way that it's not as like... There's no bitterness that really comes from the grains, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And IBU-wise, it's probably like 29 IBU, so it's going to drink like a Pilsner.
Right, yeah.
So a lot of people call Schwarzbier a black Pilsner.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to compare it flavor-wise to a Pilsner, but like mouthfeel-wise and bitterness-wise, I think it's pretty dead on, you know?
Yeah,
But it's a different thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely think it has some baker's chocolate, some coffee, a little pumpernickel bread in my mind, you know, kind of that rich, kind of toasty thing. And then it's dry. It finishes, you know, which German beers should be dry. And
they clean up after themselves.
Make you want to eat more and drink more, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So
That was a nice treat.
Yeah, it was.
That was great with the brownies, right?
Yeah, that was really good.
Definitely.
The brownies are awesome. The beer's good, too.
Thank you. Oh, well, it's not, yeah, thanks.
What's the name of the Schwarzbier?
The Schwarzbier is called Schwarzkort.
Schwarzkort.
Which I like the name a lot, even though if I first saw that name by myself, I probably wouldn't understand the meaning, but I think it's kind of a cool name. But one of our regulars, his name's Ray. If he's listening to this, hats off to Ray. He's our favorite.
Cheers to Ray.
We love regulars. So Ray came in and he said, you need to make a Schwarzbier, which is great. I wanted to make a Schwarzbier anyways. And he was like, and if it's as good as Kostritzer Schwarz, he's like, I'm going to be in Schwarzkort, like divorce court, you know?
Right, Schwarzkort.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so we call it Schwarzkort.
Nice.
And I don't think a lot of people get it, but I think it's funny. I think it sounds cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you as somebody who is now taking over for the brewery, somebody who is known for his lagering.
Yes.
He's got recipes that are very well known, and he's obviously... So John Weibel's done a great thing, and of course everybody's second story. It's an incredible place to go. If you haven't been, you need to go. So what's your take of balancing something like Fritzy's Lager with things that you do on your own? How do you toe the line?
You know, Fritzy's I changed when I came in, and thank God they gave me that. I didn't really, I should have asked, but I just kind of did it. And not because I thought it was a bad beer, I just wanted to dial it into my taste. I thought Fritzy's was great. I love the name, I love the brand, I love everything about it. And Fritzy's would not exist without John Weibel. He made it. He made it, you know? And I've just made my kind of, you know, I added more Munich. I made it a little more toasty, a little more kind of aggressive on the malt character, which is something that I like. And, you know, yeah, people noticed a difference at first, but I think it's a great beer. It's what I want, and hopefully Weibel's not pissed. I've talked to him. And I think he's happy. No, because it's a personal name. Fritzy was his grandfather.
Of course, yeah.
So it's got a family tie, and, you know.
When you tweaked the recipe, you should have changed the name of the beer to hopefully Weibel's not pissed.
I know, I should have. I didn't. I just love the name Fritzy so much, and everyone does.
Yeah.
And no, but hats off to Weibel, and no, it's just different. It's just my take on it, and I got away with it. And it sells as good as it ever did. You know, people like it. It was just a subtle change, you know. And yeast strain we changed. Everyone's got their favorite yeast they like to work with, you know. So you asked me kind of about like how our lagers tie together. Well, a lot of that is the house strain. Yeast makes beer. I don't. I make them dinner. I clean up after them.
Right.
Everyone will tell you that. That's what I do. I mean, not that there's, you know, like, I want to take some credit for what I do, but the yeast really has it. You know, without them, we're nothing.
Right.
So a lot of it is your yeast strain, and we changed our yeast a little bit. So that's kind of a big part of it. But yeah, it's just it tailed a little more to maybe my taste or my background, but it's still Fritzy's in my mind. I think he'd probably tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Were there any other recipes that you changed, or
a little bit? Declaration IPA is our third flagship,
right?
And I tweaked that a little bit yeast-wise, but it's still the same spirit, you know.
Right.
So you know, I'm proud to actually inherit these beers and be able to kind of work on them, and people like them, and you know, so yeah, it's fun.
I love Second Story. I've said it many times, and I will continue to say it.
Man, I love being a turtle.
Yeah.
I need a nap. That's what
I have to pee again.
I have to pee again
do
too.
too.
I'm just like
You're
sitting
not
here
going
like
first this time.
Jason, it was super duper awesome meeting you.
Thank
when
you.
we were here last time, which was also the first time recording as a podcast. Jeremy had nothing but glowing reviews to
that's
say
cool.
of you.
No, we're buds, man. We worked hard together. I learned a lot from that dude. So,
He seemed like he was a little pissed that Second Story stole you away from him, but at the same time, like
he stole other people too.
yeah,
It's part of the game.
Part of the deal.
It is.
but
he
Don't
he
hate the
really
player, hate the
there's
game.
welcome
man.
to the club of head
That's-
brewer. I was like, that's what I wanted to be.
That's
so,
part of the thing of being in the beer community.
Yep.
And I'm super excited to see what the future has for you at Second Story.
Thank you, man.
And I would love to come record a podcast. I'm going
Please
to
come. Yeah.
putting you on the spot right now.
I'd
We're
love
going to
to.
do
Yeah,
it.
thanks so much for having me, guys. This was
Yes,
awesome.
for sure. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, man.
All right, cheers.
So here we are.
So here we are.
After a long day at Hot Rods and Hops, and it's only halfway over. Man.
I know, and we get to be civilians.
So
for
we're
the
gonna
rest
we're
of
gonna
it.
hang out and like be cool. after
There's
this.
still 3 cans of Zeke and Destroy on this.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
still
there are.
working on
I didn't
mine.
even finish mine. This is mostly.
I might have to
full.
steal one actually because I had someone ask me for one.
I haven't
Oh,
had
really?
Zeke and
You may
Destroy
still-
yet.
Not that I can't
Go
find
right
a few
ahead.
other back
Can I have
there.
one? Can I have one of those Zeke and Destroy?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey.
Please.
I'm planning to drink Icebox the rest of the night.
The more you drink, the less I
I
have
don't,
to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm planning to drink that the bottom one.
So, for those playing along at home, who you're probably somewhat equally drunk to us, or you're just laughing at us because we're drunk assholes, we have, of course, so Jason, who found his way back into the stage.
He tried to leave.
he was just here.
He was. Now, here's the thing. In the world of editing, it sounds like nothing happened in between this, but Jason and all of us left the stage. And then he came back up because Jeremy dragged him back up to the stage.
It's James Brown over here, man.
I definitely
They
did.
keep throwing
That's
the cape
right.
on him.
I saw him standing by the stage, and I was like, "You got to come
You
back."
want to leave?
I refuse to get on the mic without the Jaybird.
That's quite all right. It's quite all right.
No, that's a lie.
J&J.
We
So-
could literally just have the mixer and a mic, and you would sit up here and talk.
That's true.
I
You
just
know
said,
that's
I said,
true.
I said
Really
this
accurate.
instance, not earlier.
this particular
If Jaybird
time.
wasn't near the the stage, I probably like, yeah, whatever, that's good.
So as Jeremy made reference to, I don't think it was while we were actually recording.
Zeke and Destroy is delicious, by
Yeah,
the way.
Zeke and Destroy is incredible.
Holy shit.
We are still
So good.
working on our full cans of that because we had lots of
Yeah,
other
from
beer.
the beginning of the episode.
There
Yeah,
is
I know.
no work. There
Which-
is only
so
drink.
Yeah.
Are we gonna talk about like? Are we gonna talk about real time or are we gonna talk about podcast?
What
time?
is happening right now?
Because in real time, it's been 2.5 hours. So we opened up these cans probably like 2 hours and 15 minutes ago or
It's,
so.
it's a good thing I opened another beer.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic.
It's about
Which-
3 hours.
Which there was a corkscrew involved in that.
There was a cork.
Did I ever tell you about? I think it was
boy.
a Free Will beer.
Here we
but,
go.
I was sent home with a Free Will beer, something I don't know, Blood and Guts or whatever.
I think it was Blood and Guts, actually.
I think
yeah.
it probably was. Wayne and I live together now, so we didn't have a corkscrew.
They're not dating their brothers.
That's very modern of you.
We're brothers. Don't worry, we're brothers.
There
It's
are
okay.
many ways in which people cohabitate.
Well, we didn't have a corkscrew, but I didn't realize that Blood and Guts had a cork in it.
So they had a cap on it.
It was
yeah,
a
it had
cap and cork.
So
yeah.
the cap came
Well,
off, and I was like,
this was-
shit, there's a cork.
This was cork and capped.
Yeah.
Yeah, cork
You know
and
why
cap.
we do that, right?
To deceive
To
people.
piss off Dan.
No.
Well, so we
no.
didn't have a corkscrew.
You know who
I
does
got a
that?
bottle opener,
This
I'm
is- We don't do it because we originated or thought of it. You know why we do it, right?
Tell us, Jeremy.
You know
tell
who
us.
does that, right? Cantillon does that. You know
okay.
why Cantillon does that?
Because they can.
Because
you-
they're Cantillon?
Well, yeah, that's one. And then two, you can't lay a bottle that's capped down.
Right.
So if it's corked,
Well, you shouldn't, but
You
people
shouldn't.
do.
Yeah.
If it's cork,
Okay, you can't lay a bottle that's capped down.
Oh, right.
But if it's corked, you can. So that's why we do that.
Interesting.
So,
All right.
Again, we're not reinventing the wheel here.
That's cool. Well, what Wayne and I had to resort to was
Didn't you try to open it with a nail?
No,
No,
a
a
screw.
screw.
A screw. A screw and a screwdriver.
actual screw.
A screw and a pair of pliers.
I tried to do it with a drill before. Your best bet is just to push the cork
It
all the way
works,
in.
though.
Go for it. Just do it.
It works. You just screw a screw into it, get a pair of pliers. It's like a corkscrew.
I mean, if it really comes push come to shove, I just pull the samurai sword out and chop it
So,
off.
there you go. That's badass. Dan is having more microphone problems today.
Jeremy, if you don't mind me asking you on air, what are the dark malts in this beer?
So that is it's not a dark malt, but one of the malts is 2-row, obviously. There's some,
Which is not dark.
which is not dark at all.
Nor specialty.
Nor a specialty malt. That is the base malt. There is some honey malt in there. There's some Cara Red.
Cara Red.
And then some C120.
It's got a rich malt character, which I really love, but
It's- I said
but the
earlier-
hop shine,
Yeah.
it's like reminds me a little bit about the red IPA, the red mosaic you did. Like in the same vein, where it's like you got that kind of resinous hop
there is
character.
a lot of hop in this beer, but also the idea was to make the malt complexity shine as well.
Yeah, and it's cool malt character. It's not like just
It's an awesome beer.
sweet and caramel. It's like
Speaking
it's
of,
nice.
of,
Here, I'll give you the heady beer.
awesome
They're all going to
beers.
be heady because this beer is made the way a saison is supposed to be made.
Yeah,
so.
Jeremy is pouring us
Saison.
another special beer out of a
Saison.
bottle.
Woo! I'll take the little cup.
That has voluminous head.
Oh, you're not kidding. That's
No, that is voluminous. I don't know if I'm saying
like
that right.
2/3 head.
How many?
That's
how
the
many
way a
vo-
saison is supposed to be.
How many volumes
Yeah.
of CO2 in this baby?
We do carb it to a 3.5 to 3.6 atmospheric units. This is all natural.
And what is this
bottle
called?
So this is high plateau saison. This is our single strain French saison yeast fermented saison, and then 100% bottle conditioned. And then this particular one is also dry hopped. We did 2 batches of this. I believe the second one was Citra and Galaxy. Jay, the Galaxy came from you.
The Galaxy came.
The Galaxy did come from you.
And I have your Citra.
You did say you're growing
And-
hops, so yeah. I remember that. I paid attention.
So this is
I'm too poor to pay attention.
this beer is actually. I'll be honest. It's like the hop qualities. This is getting a little old, so the hop
Wait,
qualities dropped
wait.
off a little bit.
I have an important question. Is this high plateau saison, or is this high plateau saison 2.0?
This is technically 2.0.
Okay.
I love the label. Can someone describe the label?
It's a bunch of gnomes on a beach.
It's a bunch of gnomes
I wish,
on a beach.
I wish JP were here.
Well, there are actually 2 gnomes.
Ooh.
There's 2 gnomes on a beach.
We did use the plural.
There's 2 gnomes on a beach. Finish the joke.
That sounds like a joke.
2 gnomes walk onto a beach.
2 gnomes and a nun.
One of them is
2 gnomes and a nun walking a beach.
staring wide-eyed at a cocktail. There's a crab chilling in a sombrero smoking a cigarette. There's another gnome asleep under an umbrella next to a rat, also wide-eyed, staring at a sunbathing, I assume, cockroach.
This brand knows what the fuck it is, man.
Yeah,
I can
there's-
say nothing else, man.
There's a lot going on here.
This beer is super dry.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
beer's
it is.
really dry.
Yeah, it is.
dude.
There's
it's
also
nice.
a lot of alcohol in it too. It's deceptive.
The head is like clouds.
It's supposed to be. That's
What?
the way.
It should be 6.3.
Should be a scoop of ice cream on there, right?
6.3. For what it is, like I would have pegged it loader. I would have put it in like
Nah,
5
this is this
or
is
4s.
Loader?
Loader.
Loader?
I was just
Yeah,
gonna let
Eric
it happen,
Loader,
'cause that
Kurt
happens.
Loader,
Kurt Loader.
Kurt
I've had
Loader!
this beer several times over the last 6-7 months. So this particular bottle is showing a little bit of the age, but it's still drinkable.
No, it's got that kind of raisiny character too that you might get out of a like a Madeira or like a port or something. It's it's a pleasant oxidative. You know what I mean? Like this is the kind of beer you might want to age.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
I mean, give it another 12 months, it might even convert to other fruits
Yeah.
and things like that. So.
.
There's no Brett in this, which is this is actually the cool thing about this particular saison for us is it's the first saison, or not the first, but the only saison we've released. Excuse me, the only saison
Oh, you
we've
should have
released.
done it right in the mic.
That's for the beer network, not for you guys. You guys are respectable.
You guys are classy.
All right. I
You guys
got worried for a
you guys are
second.
classy.
I was almost going to
Like,
punch you in the face.
We're
for that.
respectable relative to the beer network. That does not seem right.
I love those guys too, but I was just.
I'll take
I'm
it.
not
trying to-
sure
I'm trying to be a-
whether that's a compliment.
I'm next
or
to
not.
Jaybird. I'm trying to be a gentleman. I have high standards to live up to. But this is the
I kind of
only.
feel like we're on Howard Stern right now.
This is the only single
Baba
yeast,
Booey.
non-mixed culture saison we've made and released in the Chamonix Creek.
It's very nice. I really like it.
Dude, these guys do everything well. I got to say that as someone who used to work here, more than work here.
Your contract.
The great thing is he's not a paid employee.
Hey, I'm not a paid employee anymore, but
I'm
these
curious.
guys.
How long did you work here?
I was here 3 years. I was here 3 years. Oh my god, this has come up. I'm such a nerd. No, I'm really proud of my Chamonix heritage. But I was here 3 years, and I learned a lot from these guys. And I feel like they do everything well, man. Whether it's a sour, whether it's a West Coast IPA, traditional lager or whatever, like you know it's going to be on point and awesome.
Definitely. I mean, look around.
They're not going to let you down.
This is the result of people who know how to make beer.
They know how to make beer, man.
Definitely.
So, and all their employees do. Like everyone here, there's a culture of like being serious.
Yeah.
And like, hey, if you're not on board,
And there's a culture of not being serious.
No, it's like if you're not on board, get the fuck out, right?
Mostly.
You know?
If you don't like it, you can hit the road,
Yeah,
bro.
no, it's like, you know, they do shit right, you know, and that's commendable.
Neshaminy Creek, they do shit right.
No,
You're going to put that on a t-shirt, Jaybird.
No, I should. Because
Neshaminy Creek.
No,
we
there's a lot-
fucking do things right.
Yeah, there's a lot of young breweries opening. I'm excited about the brewing landscape in Philly. But, you know, to be honest, I mean, not just in Philly, but across the country, there's a lot of, I don't know, people who haven't worked in a real brewery before have been, you know what I mean? So there's something about quality that's a different level, you know?
And the thing about it, too, is that that's
You know,
the history of this industry, is that, you know, a lot of people ask me, for example, like how I got into brewing and where did I come from. And just like a lot of other people, I came from home brewing. But I think the difference is that, I mean, I went to brew school. That's one thing. And then two, I also decided to get a
Brew
job.
school.
You know, I decided to get a job at another brewery because I figured, I never got into this to start my own brewery. And then I would rather make mistakes on someone else's dime than
Like Jason did.
That's
Like
the
I
point,
did.
yeah.
I fucked some shit up here.
I saw Jay break
very
a few
good point.
things here while I was here.
That's how you learn.
He laughs 'cause,
Humiliation.
you know, but that's the thing. That's part of brewing.
That
That's
is
part
how
of
you
growing.
learn, is feeling
Exactly.
like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you don't forget those
When you
mistakes.
dump 1,200 gallons of Foeder Saison all over the floor, you'll feel like shit. Just saying, I've done that. So
Brewing is you go from feeling like Superman to like a total douche in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's unique, I think. Well, I mean, maybe everything's like
it's
that.
like being
but
married.
Yeah.
My wife's not here yet, so it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
You
No.
shouldn't be laughing. Your wife sent brownies.
So
His wife's pouring his beer right now,
I
so
know,
you definitely should be.
She's
laughing.
man in the tent.
Yeah. As this saison's been warming up, it tastes like a basket of apricot to me.
Yes, it's a lot of stone fruit.
Lots
man.
of stone fruit in this.
What yeast do you use in the saison?
This is the French saison yeast from White Labs.
Is that what you used in Kleinefriend?
It is. It is.
I can taste that.
Yes,
because
it's very similar,
dude. So that is house yeast. No, let me get back to yeast. I talked about yeast forever.
Let me get back to yeast.
Yeast do it all.
We're
We
just
feed them
There's
and
another
clean up
T-shirt,
after
slaves
them.
of the yeast.
Yeah. No, I was telling him I make dinner for him. I clean
That'd
up.
be a
after
great metal band too.
It's like a Skid Row song, "Slaves to the Yeast."
Slave to the grind.
Slave to the yeast. Slave to the yeast.
That's the one thing the Chamonix Creek's been missing since Jaybir's been gone. There just hasn't been enough
metal
references. And then you know,
it kind of surprises me.
It's coming up on a year anniversary. It is a year anniversary now.
1
since-
year, man.
And then, of course, you know, Facebook brings up all those memories. And then Jaybir's last brew day here. This is how much of a trooper Jaybird is.
Well.
Is that we had, you know, we knew his last day was coming up, and I said, Jaybird, do you want to go out? You know, you want to go out as a brewer, or do you want to go out as like, you know, just some wimp? She's like, nah, man, I want to go out in true style.
He gave me a turbid match.
So I said, all right, we're gonna do a 13-hour turbid match.
And Jake the Snake carried the weight, though. I was really just a drunk.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the video of you singing "The Razor's Edge," take it to the limit.
Walk along the razor's edge.
Come on, sing it, dude. Come on.
Don't look down, just keep your head until you finish. Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, we just capped you out.
This is it, right? This is last call, right?
Not yet.
It's not.
It's not.
I said the Razor's
We're
Edge.
jumping
I
the
said,
guns. We're
take it to
jumping the gun.
Unfortunately, my friends.
Well, we got things we got to say before that.
It's been fun. We had a great time.
Are we taking it to the limit?
Almost.
One more
time. We had a great time here at Neshaminy Creek. Hop Rods and Hots.
If you're not here, then you suck. Come next year.
Hop Rods and Hots.
And Hot Pockets. Hot Pockets and cars.
Hot Croydon people walking around.
Hot Croydon people. Hot steaming Croydons.
That's a 7 on the Croydon curve.
the Croydon
Yeah, here at Neshaminy Creek, go to NeshaminyCreekBeer.com.
NeshaminyCreekBrewing.com.
Whatever, you'll
Come on,
find
man.
it.
Twitter and Instagram is NCBC Beer.
It is not hard to find things on the internet.
Also known
There's
as
a ma-
seriously, guys.
I always like to say to people, there's a magic website called Google.
Yes, like just fucking type it in.
Same,
it's
when I
fine.
started working at the computer, Jeremy said, "Hey, this is a mouse. Should I tape ears on it for you?"
Yeah, computer.
'Cause I'm a little technologically challenged.
Computer. So we had a lot of great beers today. It was awesome. It's a lot
was
of fun.
Hopefully they'll let us back next time.
If you're a patron
You guys
on
are
Patreon,
always welcome. Whenever you want to come.
stick around for last call.
I don't ever want to see you guys complain about not having beer.
Yeah.
No. You
On
always
the internet
treat us well.
again.
It's
never a problem there.
Dude, I just gave him 2 6-packs when he got here, so fuck him.
I mean, that was apparently 12 hours too late.
It was
Apparently.
painful. I had to resort to whiskey. Oh my god.
That's not a bad thing.
It wasn't. No, it was actually really good.
We usually convert to
No,
whiskey.
he just needs to buy his own fucking beer.
It was, I could have gone to Acme.
There's
and
an,
gotten
I was
that.
going to say, there's an Acme in South Philly. Come
Yeah,
on, bro.
I was lazy. The pants were already off, so.
I feel
I'm
like
pretty
you
certain-
still could have
I'm pretty
gone.
certain you could probably do that at the Acme in South Philly. They're not going to care.
I've done it.
Yeah, Jaber would have done
That's
it.
my grocery store.
10th and Tasker would have ran that.
So unfortunately, my friends,
Unfortunately,
this brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast.
Liquid to steel, folks. Liquid to steel.
And as always, no squids were harmed in the making of
You
this
are
episode.
way
You've got like
Way too
40
early on that.
seconds
Yeah.
left to
But
vamp.
I'm not Dan Baker.
you're
I'm
right. You're not because
I-
there's still 30
I
seconds
am,
to vamp on.
I'm
All
the
right.
awesome Steph Hefner,
All right,
and
so
I'm joined by.
Hot Rods and Hops. Come
Say
back
it.
It was a lot of
2018.
Say it.
It was awesome.
I'm joined by.
My name's Wayne Baker.
And I'm Steph
This
Hefner.
has been great. It's been an awesome time.
You two can keep going.
I would love to come back next
Dan
year
Baker is here
and
he
do
has
this
his
again.
pants on.
And
This is
thank you, Jeremy.
entertaining.
Thank you,
This is really
Jamin.
funny from my
The
side.
Chamonix Creek Second Story. No Squids or Harm in the making of this episode. We
Bye.
will see you next time.
Good night.